Day 2? Yeah, when the lights went out, there I was cooking dinner. Oh, well, if we're getting specific, I was nuking a half-eaten burrito I found wedged in my couch cushions. Yeah, I know I shouldn't have. After all, I heard microwaves zap out all the nutrients. But hey, it kills the cockroaches too, so, you know, you win some, you lose some. Anyway, what was I? Right, the power outage. Apparently some plant out in Santo short-circuited. Heard the EMPs were knocking AVs out of the sky.
Yeah, I'll fuck that shit up.
Lockout led to
Me and Pan Am.
120 mil in damages all in all. The real tragedy, though? I can't stomach a cold burrito.
120 million eddies? Hot damn. And just to get your hands on one dude. You got some cojones, V.
Thank you. Got fat cojones, fat, hairy, bushy cojones. What's new, Scooby-Doo? I'm coming right on you.
Bit of a bummer.
And we're gonna fuck that mystery. Alright, starting out with some Charizard. Get the fuck out of here, bro! Smashing my shit. I got my hazards on. Fuck off. How do I put on hazards so they don't hit me? We're gonna fuck that mystery.
I will only be showing pull in relevant chunks of gameplay when doing one of these videos to show you the thing I'm talking about. I chose not to do that this time around because I'm aware there are a lot of people who are conscious about spoilers. I will only be showing initial trailer gameplay just to give you something else to look at other than my stupid face, but want to confirm that this video is completely spoiler-free, including gameplay for anyone who's interested. Hello everyone, I'm Alana Ocharolanazad, and welcome to my channel where today I am answering the questions you guys have left me about Starfield. I've been playing the game for about 25 hours now. Feels like I'm barely scratching the surface. It is a very big game, but to very quickly answer a question that I have seen actually related to that, I don't feel like it's overwhelmingly big. In all of my earlier reaction videos, I was like, I'm just hoping that, like, if I'm not interested in a certain thing, I don't have to do it, and that is totally the case. You can kind of opt in what you want to Starfield and leave everything else behind, and that is a-okay. Let's get to the official questions. So the most common question that I got that I have already addressed in a separate video is about space exploration. Somebody here asked, how long does it take to fly from Earth to the sun? It is effectively impossible to do that. I did already address this part of it in a video again because it's the most common question stuff you guys asked. And I think I'm gonna do a stream, maybe even tonight, where I'm going to leave my ship flying towards Earth for as long as possible and see if we even inch closer. Apparently a streamer did manage to clip through a planet. I haven't been able to find that. I don't know what it looks like, but effectively, space travel is extremely limited because things are just too far away. Obviously, that's realistic, but there are a lot of ways in which space in Starfield isn't realistic. Like, for example, there is plenty of sound. There's also this thing where if you boost while flying your spaceship and then you stop boosting, you will slow down, even though that technically shouldn't be physically possible. But that's why we make limitations in video games. Realism isn't necessarily fun to play, which is why it's kind of a bummer that you can't like actually fly around a solar system. You are essentially just fast traveling. And to be honest, that is a very big part of the game. There are other things that I really like about Starfield, but I did find it to be a little bit of a bummer that it's not really a space travel or space exploration game. It is actually not like No Man's Sky, where you can just take off from a planet, see another planet, and fly there. It's not like that. I think the biggest downside of Starfield is the amount of time that you spend in menus. You spend a lot of time in menus and you spend a lot of time fast traveling.
I've had that with Baldur's Gate 3 recently. Yeah, too much time in the menus.
So yeah, space exploration, not really that much of a thing. You will only ever really get in your ship, kind of if you want to. You don't even have to all the time. As sort of an in-between few seconds sometimes before landing on a planet. And landing on a planet is something you do also have to do from the menu most of the time. So the space exploration, it's quite limited. I don't know that you actually can ever fly into a sun or a gas giant. I really wanted to try it because I was like, ooh, what would happen? But of course they haven't developed atmospheres and physics for each individual gas planet to rip you apart. Like, that would be a lot. But yes, most common question I got, have already made a video about it. There isn't too much space exploration. That said, space does look gorgeous when you're out there. Oh, Scrudge Ledge said, my question is, do you receive any items or other bonuses to your character when you collect this kid stuff trait where you have to send 2% of your credits to your parents in order to visit them? It's not in order to visit them. It's just, you just have to send them the 2%. I don't think that ever ends. You get a backpack that has extra inventory, which is very important in this game because another one of my bigger criticisms would be the amount of inventory management that's required. You get over encumbered so fast. And at the start, it's definitely a bit confusing because you have all these like separate things you can delve into. Like there are these research tasks that'll let you craft things. But like if you're not carrying the stuff that you need for the research task, you can't do the research, but you don't know what you need to carry at the start of the game, so you're just like kind of taking on everything, and you get over encumbered very quickly. The fitness and weightlifting skills are both
almost got you.
That.
You
but,
poor bitch.
Yes, they give you a backpack. It's a school backpack, but it does give you extra space. And they'll send you notes, and they'll like ping you. They'll come visit Constellation. I imagine you continue to get stuff from them. It's been a while since I went and said hi to mom and dad, to be honest. Yeah, you don't just have to go to their house to visit them. You can visit them in other places.
They don't give you like cool quests.
101 said, how has the planet exploration felt so far? Also, have the map boundaries affected your enjoyment at all? Yeah, so where I said that I think space travel is limited, and I am a little disappointed by that, I'm actually not personally disappointed by the map boundaries at all. So a lot of planets are barren and boring. That's the truth about the world, about the real space, right? A lot of planets are barren and boring. Most of them have nothing on them. That is a fact. And that is the case here, as is the case in Mass Effect. And there are various planets that have big cities, and all the big cities do look super different to one another and are very fun to spend time in. They feel like totally different worlds. They're almost like little theme park areas that you can like travel to. Like one's a Western area and one's a Cyberpunk-y area. They're all super, super different, and I love that about it. But when it comes to planet exploration, this is the thing that I actually like the least about the game. But also I'm totally okay with when considering the whole package. Like it really bothered me initially and is bothering me less now that I'm playing more of it. Like I love exploration in a Bethesda RPG, like, you know, getting out of the vault in Fallout and being like, I might go here. And you just wander off in a direction and you find some super cool side quest or some outpost that's just doing like crazy stuff, or some settlement that's like nothing you could ever have imagined. I love that so much in Elder Scrolls and in Fallout. Just wandering and seeing what you'll find. I have not found any of that in Starfield. There is no wander and see what you'll find in terms of like actual planetary exploration. I've gone to several outposts on multiple planets because, you know, you'll see like this used to be a settlement and then you go there. Every single time I have not yet found a single exception. I'm sure they exist as I keep playing the game, but I've not found any, which like makes it off-putting to even do. When, you know, you see like there's a main city and then there's a separate place you can land and another place you can land. They are always just like a couple of buildings, usually some dead scientists and some space pirates who immediately want to shoot me. You can maybe find some weapons and stuff there, but I've not found any of the like stumble across an outpost that has an interesting story thing that is so awesome in Fallout. And yeah, at first that really bothered me because that was part of my expectation, which I think is on me because that's what I want from a Bethesda RPG. That is not here. So like even if you're at one of those, like the many planets I've landed on just to like try and find that kind of thing by going somewhere else and then you walk away from it, generally when you walk away you're not going to find anything else. There might be like another couple of random buildings, but then it just starts to be like environments that are just kind of repeated. The part that doesn't bother me at all is the map boundaries. It takes about 15 minutes walking in one direction, and that's just in one direction. Like it's still a square, so that's just one way. Before it'll be like, hey, you need to get back to the ship. Walking straight for 15 minutes in a video game that has so much other stuff to do, it's just not something you would ever do unless you're trying to do what I did, which is test the limit. It's a very long time, and there's not that much in that space that you would need to find otherwise. So in theory, I get people criticizing not being able to like walk around an entire planet, but practically, I think the amount of people who would actually ever do that, I would never actually do that, is just so small. Unless it were a multiplayer game, like a Minecraft map where you have multiple people on a server. But it's not. There are also no land vehicles, which I think is also kind of a bummer, but makes sense considering the limitations to the map. But like, I just can't see any reason why you would ever actually want to do that. So no, I do not feel negatively about the map boundaries, but the planetary exploration is certainly not really a part of this game. And so when I'm talking about that being the thing that I initially really liked the least, I probably still do like the least, even though I would have also loved some of the space exploration as well. I love No Man's Sky. The thing that they replaced that with is a thing that I am obsessed with. There is a thing in Starfield that is so
Changing my location.
unbelievably
Fuck off.
good. There are just so many side quests in this game that are so in-depth. Like, they go
open up the door.
forever, and you get so immersed in this world and these people and what they're having you do. There are some side quests that are very throwaway and very simple. Something that'll only take 5 minutes. But in my second playthrough, the one that I'm streaming, I'm just like applying for a bunch of jobs. And there are multiple people across various planets that have job listings available. There's one where you're someone's assistant. I did that a little on my first playthrough. There's one where I technically
I wonder if
applied
I can
for,
make
like,
it
a
on
junior
top.
operative's job. I think I started as admin and then became an operative. I'm like doing corporate espionage for this company. There's
What
so much
the
dialogue,
fuck?
such great voice acting across the board, and so many paths that you can just like go further. And
What
further without even
happened?
looking at the rest of the game.
I
would say it's, like,
teleported-
not quite as creative
What?
in terms of what you can actually do as something like Baldur's Gate 3. And it's kind of a shame these games have come out next to each other for both of these games. Like, I want
Oh,
both of them to steal my
enemies,
life.
here.
I only have one life. But it's a huge step above previous Bethesda RPGs and frankly vast majority of RPGs. It's so much fun. And you can just keep going. And that's why I highly recommend that you get involved in the factions when you can. I did this on my main playthrough. There is so much drama that you
Oh,
can
I'm
just
sorry,
get
ma'am.
drawn into and people to talk to. And stuff to do that like will have you not shooting a single person for hours, which
I'm
just-
so sorry,
obsessed
ma'am.
with it. It's fantastic. It's so much fun, and it still has like a bunch of Bethesda like goofiness and silly characters, and yeah, it's for the things that I'm like, bummer that this isn't here. The stuff that is there, you clearly see the trade-off. Like they make it very clear. Okay, that was cut because you can only fit so much shit in one video game. And all of that is where they put a lot of resources, and the stuff they put their resources into.
Oh.
So much fun. The shipboarding mechanic was the coolest thing to me in the showcases. What are your impressions so far? Yeah, the shipboarding stuff is also very fun because you come across people who, like, when you're flying around, who might be like, hey, can I chat to you? I've had like maybe 4 encounters, one with somebody called Grandma. So you can choose to board those ships if you want to and like meet people who may not be hostile. Of course, sometimes people might be tricking you. My favorite one of those so far has been Grandma.
Any
But
cameras
that is
in
also
here?
something that I would definitely recommend
That
doing.
doesn't look like it.
Wherever you can, if somebody
Find
talks
the
to you and you
club
have
where the
opportunity to dock
fights
their ship,
take
you should do it.
place.
You spend so little time actually in space, and at first I found the ship upgrades menu like super intimidating. Frankly, across the board, the UI in this game is not very good. Things are
I'm here to fight.
overwhelming. There's just so much information at all times that it's not like super user friendly, and it'll take you a long time to get into anything. But yes, the shipboarding stuff is really, really, really fun. They've made it super creative with the kinds of...
What up, bitch? I'm here to fight.
That is kind of sad. I would love to know about the performance so far, not necessarily detailed statistics or anything, but just your experience with the smoothness of movement and consistency. Such as, have you experienced any drops in frames in cluttered environments or larger combat scenarios? Great question. This is the most polished Bethesda game I have ever played. It is the most bug-free Bethesda game I have ever played by a mile. They clearly had
Okay.
extra time to polish and clearly used the time well, in my opinion. It's
This
night
lady
and day,
I've seen
almost
is
to
tough.
the extent that I sort of miss it a little. But like, I feel like some of the Bethesda jank has like become a quirk
Hey, you don't
of
have
their
no
games
health.
that I was
Get the
like,
fuck
"Oh,
out of here.
it functions.
Come on.
The only 2 bugs that I have encountered at all, I'm pretty sure. at
She got
least,
a strong
one
punch.
where there was a pretty
Oh,
big
boy.
explosion and somebody's head got stuck in a ceiling. But I was
I'm
like,
nervous.
well,
You're so
technically
pretty.
That could happen. Like, does that count as a bug? Like, there could be an explosion that would like smash somebody's head through a ceiling. And his body
Ooh,
was
got her
just
with a
tangled.
shoulder
That
shot.
doesn't seem impossible. The other one was a very early quest mission where I just, on my second playthrough, did not
Gotcha.
have the option to engage in dialogue where I did.
Give me my money.
I'm not actually positive if that went down that
Money.
way. It might have been that like
She's
maybe
dead?
on my second playthrough, because of an allegiance I had, I wasn't able to engage with him, and I just had to shoot him. But he was standing there waiting to talk to me. There was a
Are you
quest
dead?
icon, and I couldn't talk to him. So that's a pretty big.
I had
bug.
to hit her.
But that's in the 20+ hours that I played. The only 2 that I have found. In terms of frame rate jumps,
That's
they
right.
happen sort of often, but only last like a second. It's as though I'm.
I think I
getting
might kill her
impatient with those.
friends.
They are never consistent. I haven't
Probably got
had
some
one
good loot.
last more than probably literally a second or 2. Some in big cities, actually more
I'll
so
take.
when
Oh,
I'm
you guys got
exploring
loot. I was
parts,
right.
Which again, not a thing that I think is very interesting here. But yes, less buggy. than most Bethesda games. It still has some of the Bethesda jank, if we want to call it that, where like I just think it's so weird that when you walk through anywhere, everyone just kind of stares at you, like just blankly. Like there are also things where like if you start a conversation with someone and they're not immediately looking at you, they're just like sort of staring ahead, and then they have to eventually go, because it doesn't have the ability to like flip their whole body most of the time. So there's just like a bunch of silly, funny stuff that is still certainly there. But yeah, their most polished game upon release to date.
Don't worry about that.
Is definitely
Don't worry about that.
the amount of shit you can do in this game. Like,
Loot!
there's so many things you can delve into. What are the romance options like?
The cops. What the fuck do they want?
With someone? So I wasn't sure about this initially, so I had to ask other people because I had a character.
I'm not killing civilians. I'm killing. These guys have a fighting ring. They're bad.
Rejected.
Steroids, brawls, blood.
So I wasn't
Very bad shit.
But yes, you can romance characters and have relationships with them. I think with
fuck
most
outta
of your
here.
companions, I'm not actually totally sure. But as long as you spend enough time
Don't
with
get mad at
somebody,
me.
you will eventually get an option to flirt with them, and I guess you can see where it goes from there. Obviously, can be rejected. It happened to me. Apparently, I have no riz. Weston said, did the world feel empty? Are there some really
Oh,
fleshed
great
out and some
screen
that
glare.
blank seem to
Fuck.
populate space and make it rewarding to explore? So I think I already touched on this a little bit, but let me delve into it a little further. All of the worlds feel empty, in my opinion. They all feel empty. There are just cities that act as hubs that aren't empty. But everything outside of those cities, empty. At least that's the case for everything that I've seen. So 100% of the worlds feel empty. Some more than
It's going good.
Some
Hostile
at least have
area.
aliens, some
What's
don't
so
seem to have
hostile about
aliens.
it?
There will be, like I said, those outposts where you fight pirates, but that's really all I found to do. Again, this is just what I've found. It's a very big game. Everything is very separate.
I'm going here
It's
top,
not just one big
assassinate
map
them.
You could walk across, so there's like so much that I'm sure I just
Who's
haven't
that
even
guy?
seen. I want to be super clear about that. But from what I have seen, every world feels empty, and I'm not interested in going to vast majority of them or even looking at
She
vast
can't. I
majority
don't
of
even
them.
think she could
The
see them.
cities do not feel empty. The cities feel great, and again, very distinct from each other. But in terms of actual planets, most of them have nothing to do, which is the case for the real world also. P50 Cal said, how useful is the speech
He's
skill?
under.
Also said, how soon can you start meshing with your ship realistically and building an outpost? That's an easy one. Very soon. You can start that stuff like almost right away. Maybe an hour in. The speech skill is one that I kind of recommend to everybody. It makes the game more fun. I don't love the persuasion mechanic in this game. It is more like Oblivion apparently, which, like, I played Oblivion, but it was in 2006. Like, I was a child. Like, I played the shit out of that game when it came out. I don't even remember the speech mechanic. You just get a bunch of pluses, and some of them are red, and some of them are green. The green ones are easier, the red ones are seemingly impossible. And then sometimes there's, like, a bluish-green one that is there because you've gotten information about the person you're talking to, and so it's an easier skill check. Then you have a certain amount of times you get to try to persuade them, like say it's 5 down the bottom. You have to choose the dialogue options, and you only have 5 times to do it to actually
Alright,
persuade
I killed
them.
all her
I don't like the
friends.
system very much.
Nice.
Like, you really just should go with the green every time. I can't see why you wouldn't. Otherwise, you're just gonna fail. But learning information about somebody and then having that help you persuade is
Oh
super
shit!
fun.
She's
So
looking
I
at
don't
me.
like the persuasion mechanic. I like Fallout's persuasion mechanic a lot better. That said, I will say
Nice.
the lockpicking in this game, I think, is the best lockpicking that has ever been in any game. This is the best lockpicking in any video game ever. They finally figured it out. You get these thing called digipicks, which you got to pick up all of them. Highly recommend. And there are several circles, and you have to figure out how to put like a key in each circle, but they can overlap. I'm explaining this terribly, but the lockpicking mechanic absolutely rules. Persuasion.
You guys
not
again,
so
what the
much.
fuck?
Just a preference though. I prefer Fallout or like BG3, like having a percentage kind of thing. How do you feel about character customization in terms of the different backgrounds? Yeah, it's a tough one because like this happens at the start of most of these games where you have no idea what you're doing, so you're like, I don't know, this? And I've not felt like my backgrounds for either my 2 characters, which are quite different, have had a huge play on anything yet. They're there and it's cool that they're there, but I don't feel
I don't
super
feel like going
strongly
back to
about
loot. I'll
them
start
at
looting
this
over here at
stage.
first.
They're okay. It's fun to like pick that stuff and like have that help with you as you roleplay, which again, this is a role-playing game. What you're going to be doing most of the time is role-playing. The game is built for you to literally roleplay, like nerdiest nerd roleplay. Get involved in the world and be like, this is who I am, this is what I'm doing, just get into that. And if you do, like in a D&D way, I think it's super rewarding. So they're more of like a framework to help your imagination than anything else I would have thought, but maybe there's more to it later on, I don't know. At this stage, they're okay. As far as RPGs go, how would you classify the perk system? Is there a game you can compare it to as far as depth or longevity in a playthrough? And it's pretty similar to Fallout 76, to be honest. Are there other things you can level up, or just solely the perk system for character progression? Yeah, so there are a bunch of perks. Perks have multiple tiers, 4 each, I think. And they also have challenges, so you won't actually
Good dodge.
get to the next level of a certain perk unless you've completed the challenges associated with that perk, which I really like. So like the Persuasion perk you have to pass 3 checks before you can unlock level 2 on that. And there are 4 separate or 5 separate brackets of things, like there's a science, social, like body or fitness one, and as you unlock the first row of any of those, you will then be able to unlock the second row and get deeper and deeper into it. This is another sort of menu inside a menu inside of a menu, which is an issue with the game, but I actually really like the level up system. I do really like that
I got a gift.
Specialize in your perks, and it won't just let you keep leveling up when you aren't using them. And it's fun to like see what your starting options are in a certain bracket of the thing you might want to focus on, and like know how much is below it and how many levels there are below it that you can't even access yet, and actually seeing it in front of you is really nice. But it is quite simple in a way that I also like, so I'm a fan of the level up system. It's good. Flyback said, my question is, from the footage I've seen so far, I'm afraid Starfield will be filled with different mechanic systems and things to explore but lack soul and feel a bit generic to play. Can you give me your impressions on this, please? Yes and no. It is filled with a lot of different mechanics, not that many things to explore, and it definitely has soul. It does not feel generic to play, but that requires you to play it a certain way.
Holy shit!
And get lost in
oh my god!
Which makes the game like so rewarding, so much more than vast majority of video games. It rules, but you have to do that. Like if you want to get really involved in dogfighting or ships, you would really just have to commit to that life and start recruiting people to your ship and leveling up your ship and like start taking over other ships, sell parts, buy parts. I get very into that thing, and if you only like touch on things from the surface, yes, I would say it probably feels generic.
Car time.
Which, again, I think is the thing I was saying.
Hold on.
With the early gameplay, I was like, I feel like I'm gonna have to pick and choose what to get involved in here and not get involved in everything because there is just too much, and that is definitely true. You have to like pick a thing that you're like, let's do this, and just go for it. Do dialogue options actually feel like options? Example, some games have text options are available choice where NPC responses don't actually change much on. Wow, I messed
Beautiful.
up. Change much based on what you say. This is a great question. Yes, you can absolutely like have things happen that you lock off an entire quest, lock off an entire person, like fail at something badly because you went down the wrong path of dialogue options. The illusion of choice is not so much an illusion where that's concerned. But also some parts of this can be like a little bit broken. Like you can say something because you have this like big tree of things to say, and then you get back to the first dialogue menu and say another thing there, and they've like forgotten the previous conversation. Like they're not great with context, or like the NPCs aren't great at remembering the conversation you've already had unless it's one of the ones that like locks you out completely or progresses something.
I gotta put that shit in storage.
So it's not like completely shallow. What you say does matter. Like you could say something early in a conversation that will like completely fuck up the end of the conversation, and you'll end up having to have combat where you didn't want it or whatever. But it's not as deep as you like might like it to be in terms of, yeah, they'll forget stuff you've said to them before pretty often. The NPCs are not great with context. Kyo said, how do you feel about the combat? Is it as bad as it looks? The combat is one of the weak parts of the game. I'm not very into it. They've added some fun new stuff for sure, which I won't even spoil because you can see it for yourself. But I will do anything I can to talk my way out of combat. And there certainly is a fair bit of combat in a lot of the quests. You're fighting very generic enemies. The AI is okay. Gunplay is Bethesda's best yet by a mile, but it's not, like, fantastic compared to the rest of the industry. It's a thing that's there that you'll find some fun guns that are fun to use and some abilities and stuff, but overall, it's okay. Leah Buster said, how many hours of gameplay can we expect replayability? I imagine you could expect hundreds of hours out of this game. It's so big, and there's so much to do. I don't know about
free to go, sir.
Because I imagine most people will just want to go one save file. I guess that's not true. I have 2 save files. I'm playing very differently on both of them, and I'm enjoying the way I'm playing on both of them. It's different for both. So in terms of those, you're good. You got lots to do. What's your opinion on the main questline so far, if you've played any of it? Yeah, so I mostly played the main questline on my main character. That is what I focused on, and it's simple in premise, but pretty solid in terms of like the way it does the story out to you. But it is definitely like you need to find these things, go find them, and it does have some pretty big wondrous moments for sure, so I like the main story. The music is also very good across the board. I think they do a really good job with that ambient music that Bethesda RPGs have always been really good at. It ramps up at the right times, calms down at the right times. Yeah, the music is beautiful, honestly. TME8 said, did you have a moment where you're fully enveloped into the world of Starfield, sort of like the moment in Skyrim when you enter the world for the first time after leaving the cave? No, and that is one of the biggest struggles with this game, is you do not have the leave the cave, leave the vault moment like I said earlier. Maybe the first time you fly into space can feel a little bit like that, but ultimately this is a very different game where you're not just exploring one world, and so it doesn't feel that way. And I think that is going to put a lot of people off, ultimately. You don't have this like big like, here you go. It's very fractured. Here you go, Z's. It makes the pacing very different compared to their other games. Yeah,
The
it does
fuck
not
outta
have
here.
that moment, in my opinion. Hi, before 20 said, how's the base building? Does it seem worth putting time into? The base building is basically Fallout 4's base building, but a little bit more expansive. And yes, it does seem like a lot of fun. I've not gotten too far into it, but I like it. It's very complicated when you first look at it. Like, it's a lot. The menu is very hectic. But I think when I choose to delve more into that, I'm going to have a great time. I think that's most of the questions answered here. Like, as I'm scrolling now, I'm getting to the same ones. And I definitely don't want to spoil anything, so I'm hesitant with that. Yeah, they're all the same now, but we did get a lot of questions here, so if there's anything big that I haven't answered in this video, let me know, and I can make another one potentially next week. Game's not out yet, of course it's out in early access and more people are playing it, but happy to keep talking about it. I'm also streaming a lot of the game for anyone who is interested in that. There are a bunch of people who've asked me, like, do I see the game being as expansive with mods as Fallout and Elder Scrolls? And I would say yes, I think the mods are going to be a ton of fun. That is it from me right now. Let me know if you have more questions. I don't mind making a part 2. This game's so goddamn big. We'll be streaming it virtually every day that I can. I'm having a lot of fun streaming it.
Me with Pan Am out
yeah,
there.
Thank you so much for asking questions.
I'll do some more
appreciate
shit here before I do that. Might do this little city. What the fuck is this?
I'll have an ad from them somewhere in the middle of this video.
I'll do the main quest there before I hit the city. I'll do Pan Am's quest before I start exploring that.
Trying to figure out how to fly to
Let's do
one of
this.
Starfield's
Sex on
many
Wheels.
suns/stars. So, if flying from Pluto's orbit to Pluto took me 7 hours, someone calculated that flying from the planet closest to the sun in the solar system would take 9 years.
Wow, why can't I
human
jump? What the
years.
fuck?
Which, did I contemplate it?
Some
Yes.
jump.
Like, okay, how would I feasibly play the game for 9 straight years? So that wasn't really an option. So how was I supposed to
fuck, I
test
can't
what it would
double
look
jump
like to
after a
fly
certain
into sun
point?
in Starfield, find out if it was even
Fuck.
possible. I tried looking at other solar systems, ones that had much bigger stars, seeing if it might be possible to fly to their suns. Ultimately, no matter what, the suns are
What
just
the
too damn far
fuck?
away, which obviously is realistic. Also, sorry if you can hear
Why
me.
did my dodge work? What the fuck is going on here?
He's a good boy. So I registered
fucking
that
area
I
is
need to
broken.
use console commands. Players who aren't aware, these aren't exactly mods. I don't consider them mods. Some people do. It's something that Bethesda has always provided effectively. If you're playing on PC and you hit the tilde key, you can speed up player movement speed, and you can also jump
What the
hours
fuck was
ahead.
my
So
character
when I
running with his
first
hands up?
attempted to do it.
He's doing the
was like,
Naruto
I
run.
actually don't
Yeah,
know
what the
why this
fuck
is
was that?
happening.
What?
Often I would just flip and spin.
Hey yo!
Oh my god, this is hell. I can't. It's broken. Hang on. Can I just? What if I go photo mode? Oh my god, dude.
What the? It just auto kills me. It's not letting me go down the hill. What the fuck?
Speed of my ship would just drop to like 4.
What is
In one
this?
instance, it actually started to move in reverse, despite the fact that I had never input anything that would tell the ship to slow down. If anyone happens to know why that was happening, I would love if you could tell me. So I gave up on that.
That's some
in fact,
fucking
I
bullshit.
assumed that using increased
Where's
play
my
speed
car?
and skipping time was leading me to the conclusion that I was not able to access the suns. So those attempts failed, but I really didn't want to give up.
I'm going off the
I
bridge.
wanted to know if the suns were actually there.
Fuck,
or
I
if it was
can't.
fake
What? This
light
whole
sources that you
bridge is
couldn't
blocked.
access. I effectively used a mod. Now, to be clear, just because I think people like get confused about the terminology of that, the mod in this instance allowed me to move faster in a way that I wouldn't.
All right, now we're going
but
off.
It didn't actually modify the base game, so people weren't adding in extra stuff to the game. The stuff that was there was already there. They were just allowing the ship to move faster.
Let's
What I
go.
put into the console commands is not
Oh,
like
clean.
What I'm telling you is that a player hasn't created
Fuck.
a sun. They just created the ability for me to move at a reasonable pace inside of Starfield's already existing
It's fucking.
systems. And what I found, I
There's
really,
there's no air
really
control
did
with the
not
car.
expect. I did not
Or
think
either that or it's just very
it,
tiny.
and I'll show you, but it really leads me to believe that they really seriously considered making this game very differently and then changed their minds at the last minute. Time to talk about Surfshark VPN, the sponsor of today's video. Surfshark VPN is a virtual private network that keeps your online identity safe. If you aren't
The
already
fuck?
familiar, they basically work by encrypting all of the information that you send to the internet. It keeps your personal data protected from companies and criminals, but there are also some like very personal, appealing uses outside of security which is obviously extremely important. Surfshark VPN
There we
allows
go.
you to virtually change which country you're in. I
Freaking
personally
turtle
do
shelled the
this
front of my
very
car.
frequently
Jesus.
in order to watch Premier League football games. They are so easy to watch if you live in the UK, not so easy to watch in any other country in the world. And if you're in different places, you have to figure out where they're airing, if they're airing, what channel, what subscription you need. With Surfshark VPN, you don't have to do any of that nonsense. One that I think is huge for gamers is that you can actually stop ISPs from throttling your data. ISPs can analyze your data and limit your bandwidth when you're doing very data-intensive activities, which seems so unfair considering you're paying for it, but alas, they don't care. Online games can be pretty bandwidth-intensive activities, so if you're using a VPN, the ISP loses the ability to mess with your data, giving you the speed you deserve, and frankly, the one you're probably paying for. So if you want to protect yourself today, as you should, enter promo code ALANAH, A-L-A-N-A-H, for an extra 3 months free at the link in the description. Now back to the video.
What the fuck do you want, Mr. Hands? But oh.
Oh my god. I was starting to think this would never show up. I've been doing this for so long. Okay, so we just, at this point, just keep going, I guess. But how, I really thought that when I got there, it was just gonna be a light source, like just a glowing orb light source.
This is legit, like, just like a nice parkour travel option.
Fire effects on it. Like, it actually has solar flare coming off of it. Why have they done that? Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm gonna hide myself again.
I got a tarot card. Where the fuck was this hiding? Over here?
How long we've got? I've been doing this for over an
hour. Oh, why am I at the chapel? Fuck! I'm supposed to go to the garage, man. Come on. Shit.
How exciting.
I'm gonna teleport. Thought I selected it. Fuck. Alright, I'm here, Granny. No, the sun. Do I have it on? Yeah. Damn, that shit looks good. Haha! What a piece of shit. It's a fucking GIF. Who are these dipshits?
Went through it. We went through the sun.
Great space travel.
Why does it have fire effects on the outside? Hang on, let me slow down a little bit. Dude.
It has fire effects.
Yeah, unlike Pluto, because of the like solar flare effects, we can actually see them. And I swear you can hear it a little. Why? So...
What up, boys? Here to get my shit.
Through it so fast. Now I kind of want to jump back out though. So let me see if I can just hang on, speed up again so I can.
I'm out.
Out. There we go. Okay, I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. Why does it exist? And it's so big.
Got a bunch of
Am I gonna
pussies
go back
over
inside
here.
again? No, I think it's gonna overtake me because it's.
Rides like shit. Fuck this car.
Oh my gosh.
Spent like 200 grand on a Lambo. It's much better than this piece of shit.
Really long distance. My guess is that initially you would have burnt up trying to get closer to it, and there was like a distance where you would be able to see it, but as you came closer, you would burn up. Oh, is that because I'm entering again? I'm not trying to.
How do I cancel attack? I don't think I can.
Because
That's
they
fine.
initially intended for us to fly between planets. It doesn't make any sense why you would do this in any other context. Why are any of the planets accessible? Why does it have solar flares mapped on the outside of it? Like, because really all you actually have to do is what I've done here, which is speed up.
Oh, the car. I forgot about it.
That's all you actually
Let's see how it
have
rides.
to do
What is this?
to travel between planets, and it works just fine. You still can't land or anything.
Intake.
Obviously, I just like warped through it again. But the travel pod,
What's it called?
which I would have thought was like very intensive.
The Quadra
obviously it's
Turbo
huge. We're kind of losing a bit
VTEC?
of sense of the scale because of the speed. Like, I've traveled very, very
See how it rides.
fast to get away from it, even by this much, which is why it doesn't look as big as it should. Let me slow down and see what that does to our perception of the scale.
See how fast it hits? 200.
now at regular speed. Interesting that it's not casting light either. Like, it isn't casting any light on the ship. Obviously, like, you can see where it's connected together. That's how the solar flares
it's not hitting 200 like the,
Damn, dude. The
yeah, it's
sun
not gonna
is
hit 200.
Fully here, fully
Nope.
realized. Has to have been for a reason. A team wouldn't just waste resources to do this and create that solar flare tech for no reason.
Good brakes, good turning though.
Now
Holy shit.
Can we travel
God damn, I was going fast. It didn't even.
Be the next test, right? Like that'll take.
Oh, that's a nice drift.
Still took me over an hour of manually hitting boost.
The drift, okay.
If I try and get
Okay.
the Centauri,
Okay, this thing is kind of nice.
Obviously, what I'm gonna do. It'll take a long time.
It's got a really good brake too. Strong brakes.
So because we just jumped
strong
from
dick.
Mercury
Girthy.
to the sun,
Girthy brake.
we have now effectively confirmed that you can travel between planets.
Who are these dipshits?
Like, you can't just travel from Pluto's orbit to Pluto.
Pretty sure I
and
killed them
travel from
already,
Mercury
but
to Sol, which is effectively
why am I going to the chapel? Where the
planet
fuck am I
anytime you ever
going?
travel from
God damn
to
it.
Venus or Uranus to Venus or whatever. Like, that would actually.
All right, where am I going next? We got a
How
gig.
cool and also.
Oh, we
confusing.
didn't
It's just giving me
sabotage the
so
target.
many more questions. Why have you done this? So after.
I like
about
my
an
other car
hour,
better.
I got to the sun, and yeah, I'm sure this is all in my reaction, but was like very impressed by the solar flares. Very impressed by
Yeah, the
fact
turbo
that it's
VTEC. That one's
moving
kinda cool.
and maybe it has a sound. There seems
Where's
to be
my
audio.
the Cali
Ultimately,
burn?
it confirmed to me that there is an early
This shit's
version of Starfleet that
fast.
exists
Oh,
who
get over
were
here.
able to travel between planets. In fact, I think Todd may have even said that. I think they may have
Yeah, I'll
said
kill these
something
guys,
along
get a
the lines
little
of like, yeah, we thought about
Netrunner
letting you travel
skill.
between planets and decided it wasn't very fun. And to be fair, me sitting here and smashing shift to boost to get up my speed correctly was not very fun. By choice, I would not do that again. I would be using the menus. As for how I did this, I found a fix after playing around with it myself and clearly not doing things right. On Nexus Mods, the post is from a user called Helk.
Dumbass fucking robot, shut the fuck up.
You can find it directly, but this person has basically created.
Oh yeah, I already
4
infiltrated this
separate
place.
suites for the ship.
Got all their
There's
shit.
A cruise, a super cruise, and a hyper cruise, and I was using hyper cruise for this, and also speeding up game time. So I sped up game time to probably like plus 20, including using his hyper cruise. So I'll leave a link in the description if you want to check it out yourself. Obviously PC only. Not technically a mod in that you don't have to download or install anything. You just have to input the text into the console commands, which is awesome. But yes, I found this really fun, and I do think my next experiment has got to be.
Can't open any doors. It's secret.
It'll take a really, really, really long
It's
time,
secrets.
so I might have to do that one on stream again. But hopefully you found this video informative or interesting in some way. I was so excited to find this at the end of it because I've been asking this question so often. Like, what happens if you try to find
Yeah,
this?
here
Some of
we
the
go.
first things I want to do is just too goddamn far away to do it without putting in user console commands. So, thank you for watching.
Damn, it's hitting 160 fast.
Excited by this
This car's a
discovery as
fucking
I am
beast.
for
Let's
some
go.
reason.
Yeah, this is what I want. Watch the fuck out, cops.
Today's video
God
is
damn
probably going to
it.
be a bit of a bummer.
Oh
It
shit,
happens
it's all the way up there?
sometimes.
Do we have to
I
go in
don't
here?
know what the solution to
Elevator?
the problem is. But I am deeply concerned. And before we go any further,
What the fuck do you
I
want,
want to acknowledge
Reyes?
that everything I'm about to say in this video is not exclusive to the games industry. It's more exclusive to the system, capitalism. But the games industry is the industry that I love, and that I care about, and that I'm passionate about, and that I think about 24/7 and exist in. That is the center of the conversation, even though I am aware other industries deal with the same issues. If you haven't already heard, Epic Games, known for the Epic Game Store, and Fortnite, and many a very profitable property, has just laid off a significant number
Games.
of its workforce, including a lot of people I know who work in game development. And it's been very weird to watch people at other companies who also had layoffs this year be
Kill
like, to everybody at
Lucius
Epic who got laid
optional.
off, we have
That's-
job listings.
That should be in the
Because truth is
green
that
for
it is
me.
after a number of other
That's a
companies have
mandatory.
also had layoffs
I'll do that, no problem.
in 2023.
Kill Lucius.
Which, as a reminder, is also the year that has brought us
Like it's optional.
fantastic video games.
No,
It's only a
I'll do
very
it.
good year for video games and a very bad year for the games industry. And the thing about Epic is they're one of those companies that has like so much money that when you
God
even try
damn,
to
we're going high
rationalize
up.
it just sounds made up. It's like almost $40 billion.
Just shove 'em off the edge of the
valuation.
building.
They are very significantly owned by Tencent, which is
Do
one
it
of
real
the
quick.
biggest companies in the world. And year over year, their profits increase, their margins increase. And yet for some reason their labor workforce still has to decrease, or so they have said. I mean, some of these people who lost their jobs found out which other colleagues lost their jobs today in the games industry because of Twitter. Like, you kind of just don't know which person of the grab bag of people that just got laid off is gone. And what kills me about this is that I've said it so many times on this channel, I know people know it to the extent that it almost doesn't mean anything, but game development is really
Tracing
hard.
my location.
You know, guarantee
Who the
that a lot
fuck?
of these people who just got laid off have given up countless nights
Who's
and
tracing my
weekends and
location?
taken time away from their families and not taken trips so that they
Who's doing
work
that?
hard to end up getting laid off at the
I'm
end
out.
of the day. Anyway, I feel like that just kills me. It's so hard
Fuck!
to rationalize like
Oh,
how
God.
exploitative these mega corporations can be with people's literal lives. Like, you literally
Damn, I
only
can't
live once,
escape their
and they will
location
take
tracking.
everything they possibly
fuck
can from
me.
you, take all of your hours, take all of your energy, tell you it's not good enough, and then half the time change the company directive in 2 months' time so the thing you were working on that you were told you had to give a deadline for, or you had to meet the deadline for, doesn't matter in 2 months anyway, and they completely change their minds. Or they'll just lay you off anyway because the labor's too expensive, regardless of the fact that they have year-over-year profits. They are a profitable company, they are successful, and then the people who, you know, work in the games industry, who have all this games industry experience, just have to find the next company that will do that. Just kind of on a cycle over and over again. And the reason I say that it's unsustainable is that the current growth model in the games industry is like so wildly out of hand that I feel like there has to be a crash.
Let's fight.
AAA games are so incomprehensibly expensive. They also take a really long time to make. We are at 5+ year game dev cycles at this point for a lot of AAA studios. 5+ years, millions and millions and millions of dollars, hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands in some cases, of employees, who a lot of whom get hired as contractors. I feel like that's like such a big problem in the games industry that I don't know how the media hasn't tried to cover yet. It's very bizarre to me, but there is so much contract work in the games industry where contracts just get cut off and these people aren't earning any healthcare, and it's also a really bad problem in games because people are competing with each other. Say you have 2 contract producers and they know that a game's about to ship, they're gonna start like sabotaging each other and competing with each other in order to try to stay employed. This is like consistent across the games industry, that video game development's actively hurt by contractors.
Interesting. We'll start up here.
Should be employed full-time but aren't. And like when you get to the end of this, you know, 5+ year dev cycle, some people will start leaving because they recognize there are going to be cutbacks. Others get laid off, just causing this like constant anxiety for so many people who work in this industry who just have no idea.
Bitch!
And then as the projects get bigger and more expensive,
God damn it,
the impact that has on game development just becomes bigger and bigger as well. So not only do you have an industry where you have to have people who are incredibly skilled at things that are not that transferable, they also generally have to be pretty damn passionate, especially in the case of engineers. They could all make way more money if they didn't work in video games. Go work in software engineering. But the point is that they all really love video games, who are just laid off like it means absolutely nothing, regardless of the time they put in. It can be
popping on you boys.
It can be like a
huge chunk
of their lives. Again, so many occasions that these people, these human beings, have spent on working just for a company to lay them off because it didn't make enough money. It's not like it didn't profit or wasn't successful versus the previous year. It just wasn't successful enough versus the previous year. Like, it's unbelievable. It's crazy that the system considers a plateau to be a failure. Like, oh, you're only making 30 billion 2 years in a row? Ugh. Like, literally shareholders will pull out because the way the whole system functions is they all just need to make more money.
What are these assholes doing out there?
There's only so much money. So you just gotta fire people over and over and over again. Give the beast what it needs. Ugh. Yeah, we have this incredibly long growth cycle now where it's become doubly unsustainable because every time you hire somebody new in game development, that cost is like very high. Not only is it like high and that you might have to pay a bonus or you have to go through the negotiations, it's that you also have to cash somebody up. You can't just join a brand new studio, especially when different studios run on different engines. You don't know how far through production a certain company is. There are weeks, maybe even a month, where they can't actually really do any work because you're just paying them however much you give somebody in a month to just get caught up. And then you have to do this every time there's another round of layoffs because the industry can't sustain itself and keeping everybody on board, even though, again, projects are only getting more expensive and dev cycles and production cycles, like the things that would have happened at Epic, not necessarily dev, just at Epic, are just getting bigger and bigger and longer. You're spending more money, you're hiring more people, you're taking more time, you're laying off more people. And it's this like vicious cycle where the solutions are obviously layoffs or monetization. It's monetizing games. It's figuring out how to make FIFA Ultimate Team for every single game. Honestly, FIFA Ultimate Team is like such a problem in my head because it's like it makes so much money and is so renewable. You only have to make the card art for a FIFA Ultimate Team card once, right? And you are constantly already marketing it to the same people who've already bought FIFA or EAFC now, but you get what I mean. And every year it makes so much money and costs ultimately so little that it causes every other publisher in the games industry, because of the literal society that we live in, every publicly traded company, there will be shareholders being like, why aren't you making Ultimate Team money? Make Ultimate Team money. How haven't you figured out how to make some infinitely renewable, very easy source?
Oh wait, where's Lucius? Hold up.
Players something that
fuck,
is so
how do I cancel?
Like, don't worry about the game part.
Where the fuck is
that
Lucius?
Part that matters. And then gamers hate
Where the fuck is he?
They just get really upset with the games industry, and people
Kill
talk about voting with their
Lucius.
wallets. But the problem is, in my
There
head,
were a
people
bunch
do
of
vote with their
enemies
wallets. People are voting with their
over.
wallets. You can talk about voting with your wallet
Over
all
here.
you want to, but you're already doing it. You talk about don't
Kill
pre-order games,
Lucius.
don't buy a game if you don't know the quality. It's
Where
an
the
insane
fuck
thing.
is he?
And you can have that conversation as much as you want, but people are still doing it.
Lucius.
You can have the conversation about how much you hate microtransactions or live service games as much as you want, but they still make so much money. Like, the conversations are irrelevant. The mobile market
Is
in
Lucius
China
that guy in
Japan
the room?
is so appealing to every company on the planet. It makes
Hold
so
up.
much money. So vote with your wallet. Like, yeah, people are already voting with their wallets. Their wallets are saying,
Where was
we
that
like
guy?
microtransactions, actually. You don't have to put as much time into making that, and we will spend more money on that. More of that. And the problem with that is, like, those monetization strategies,
Lucius?
again, the ones that are actually cheaper and thus more profitable,
Yeyun.
require less people to make. I just
Not
feel
Lucius.
like we're in this horrible and terrifying cycle of the games industry is a really scary place to be for a lot of people because layoffs are so consistent, and you know, these people have lives and jobs and families that they have to take care of outside of the hours that they work really hard for these companies who don't care about them. And they get laid off, and that saves the company a little bit of money, but it's still never enough because, again, you have to have year-over-year growth or you're failing for some reason. Just being billion-dollar profitable is not enough profit. So then you have to figure out ways to make money cheaper, follow the trends that work. It's just a cycle that's like squeezing people into this narrower, more terrifying space where everyone's just trying to exist and trying to make really fun stuff and trying to continue to make video games. Like, of course, there are exceptions to what I'm talking about, but this is a reality
Lucius?
for a lot of people, and a lot of people
Force
I know
open?
have been laid off at some point. Like, it just sucks. It's an industry that so many people love so much, that so many people are so passionate about and spend so much time and put so much of themselves into, that I think at this point is like an untamable beast. Like, it just, I don't know where it goes from. I can
Is
make a
Lucius in
video
there?
saying
Oh, there's a camera. There's cameras in there.
Don't, like, get a refund
Lucius
for it,
has to be
don't
in
just
there. Hold
even,
on.
like, review on it or comment on it. That doesn't matter to capitalism. That doesn't matter to the CEO who's just seeing that they made $1 billion. You literally have to ask for refunds. You have to take that money away. Your tweets don't matter, I promise. They don't care. Negative YouTube videos, that stuff doesn't actually matter to people making $8 billion a year. You have to ask for refunds. Stop pre-ordering games. Legitimately, if you love a game, buy it twice. Or, and I'd love to ask people to do this, but I think that every person would get corrupted, buy stocks in companies that are doing things you like to try and reinforce that they're doing things you like. But I really do think that, like, very few people would be able to resist the, wait, I dip my toe in this, but if
Can't
I buy
jump to the
stocks in
fucking
this,
glass.
I'll be
God
richer
damn it.
next week. Like,
How do I get in there?
I think majority of
Fuck.
humans are just like so susceptible to that system, and there's just no cap. There's no cap. It needs more money. It does not care about the people who care about it. It fucking sucks. It really sucks. I'm so sorry to my friends at Epic who got laid off, to everyone else who's been laid off.
20
this year
strength, holy
across the
fuck.
games industry, across games media, of course, across multiple
How
industries.
do I kill Lucius?
There are people being like, oh, it means there's a recession coming. It's so weird to see people be like, well, they had to have layoffs because there's, you know, financial downturn, which means that every single one of those people who got laid off is fucked because there's a financial downturn. Why are you defending the company and not the people? It's incomprehensible to me. Yeah, I can tell you the things that I think that would help, but I don't really think they would help. I think it's like unfathomable amounts of money and a system
Lucius?
that, again, requires
Did I not kill him by
infinite growth,
accident?
which is unsustainable. And I just find it very scary because the people who are in the games industry are so good and care so much, and that's so fucking exploitable. This video is effectively a rant It's 4 a.m. I can't sleep. I just wanted to say something. Did I say something? I don't know. It just sucks. It just really sucks. And I don't know when it ends. The companies just make more money and the rich people just get more bonuses. And everyone else is just trying to survive or get promoted just for their
It has
boss
to be over there.
hire some
Lucius?
dude they worked with 25 years ago above them anyway. And whenever those people make mistakes,
Lucius.
the boss people, no
Where the
punishment.
fuck is he?
Nothing happens. The little guys get laid off. I don't know, man. It just fucking sucks. It just sucks. It sucks.
No, you fucking asshole! Fuck! Fucking dipshit was there the whole time.
What? Screw it. I'm just gonna go for it. Yes. 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 No. Yes. Yes. No. Yes.
I want some curry rice balls.
I'm getting so much worse. I'm somehow getting worse. How? I'm getting worse. How am I getting worse? How am I getting worse? I was better. I like my first. I got here and I'm getting worse. I'm getting worse.
Ooh, a solo shard,
stop,
nice.
but I'm
Appreciate
not stopping.
it.
Oh my god, I need to stop. I need to pause. I need to calm down. Oh my god, I need to calm down. Oh, stop! Stop swinging! I'm going for it! Ah! I need to calm down.
Got 5 more gigs for him. He doesn't have any more right now.
Just order a mystery box.
We'll go finish up the missions in this city. What is this? Cold Mirage. Go to Afterlife and talk to Nix. Meet with Detective Ward.
I can't help that. You know,
fuck is
I can't
that?
help that. It's just stressful. It's stressful. Don't concentrate on the results. Just concentrate on the process. You're right. You're right. The process, which is sponsored by cloakbrand.com. Mystery box. You must know what's in the mystery box.
Ooh, it's a good joint. God damn. Yeah, this double legs jump is fucking insane. I love it. Doesn't interrupt my stealth too much. It's okay. Oh!
You must be okay. Thanks for agreeing to meet.
Almost.
You really Liz. Almost right. Acoustics are a little too good in here. Got my car outside.
This shit looks so fucking hard. I would never play it though, because apparently the controls are really janky.
Okay, sure.
It's either really janky or like purposely fucked up to make it hard.
No. This.
That little
second
tip,
stage
yup.
of this climb, and now it gets more dangerous than everything. Because if I slip here, I do
You're
slide
dead.
too far.
You're
I
dead.
think here is the delineation. Here's the delineation. Here's the delineation. This is the delineation.
Man, this looks so fucking hard. I could see one little tip that he could grasp onto. I don't even know if the sledgehammer is long enough. This is fucking insane, this game.
Okay. Oh, man.
Get the fuck out of my way, bro.
Nope.
Huh. Little cheeky.
Boys from the precinct saw horror about the lawyer.
Yo, the character's arms. Shit looks so funny.
The mayor.
Oh shit.
Peter Horvath.
I've watched a few streams of this game, few full playthroughs.
Downtown, but
Some of these guys have went for like 6 hours.
said he got lost. How's that happen? What's it mean? It means someone didn't want him counting roaches in the cell that day. Before you ask me, no. I got no idea. Lighter. Why is Peralez looking at this now? Why does he want it done unofficial? On the hush-hush. Break Queen's race.
I'm trying to pull in. I'm not trying to scoop. It just really wants to scoop.
It got anything to do with Ryan? The guy was headed there.
It just really wants to scoop. It's okay.
Fine. We're gonna see my CI. All I've heard is some fancy-ass club. No idea where to even look for it. CI might know. Then we'll go talk to the woman Horvath worked for. Or actually, we could see
No,
her
don't go
first.
on.
Holy
You
shit.
were right there. Go. It's in. It just keeps wanting to go up. It keeps wanting to go up. And I'm like, don't go up. Why don't you not go up? Why don't you just focus on the pull like that? Which is what I'm trying to do. Nobody goes up, it bounces up. Okay, come on, No, oh, you were there, you were there, you were there. Oh, you were there, you bastard. No! Oh! It was, it was right there. Oh, it's right there.
90% of any detective's job is talking.
Pull.
So, who are we supposed to talk to? Cyberpsycho's boss, you said? Christine Markov.
Don't go
42.
up. Every time go up,
File
it
has her
detaches.
Horvath's sole employer.
Well, that's
Sole
no,
contact
no,
too,
no.
actually.
Pull. No. Oh, stop going up. No, go, come on, no!
Let's get to talking. Oh, following. Hold on, let me get my joint out. We got a lot of this is a slow mission.
Oh,
Yes, Mark.
oh.
Help me through this mission.
Oh, don't push out where I go up. Oh, don't do that thing I'm trying everything not to do. Oh, thank you. Oh, wow. Here I was pushing when I was like, oh, why am I not working? Oh, I don't do the thing I've literally been screaming about to not do for the past 30 minutes. Oh, thank you.
Hey,
Thank you
bitch.
so much. Have I tried using the hammer to move? I have not. I think maybe...
You know about Christina Markov?
I'll try that strategy. Sounds
Fuck
like
you.
it might work. You're right. It turns out that the hammer was the key to everything. That is astonishing.
You found
It
Christine
was
Markov.
not using the hammer. And it turns out that when you use the hammer... Wow.
Oh, this is her. We got her.
Thing. Special. Stop going up.
No, not cops. Just looking for some intel.
Everyone's always looking for something.
Oh, I want to see this. This is high quality gameplay. Gotta pause you right now, Mark.
So Horvath had... No, made it up. Great. Let me handle it, Jimmy. Step aside, Bug. Your boyfriend got sent up for years. Don't you want to say?
おいらより自分の心配をしたらどうだ。シューマの前で恥をかくのは嫌だろ。
Hey, gentlemen, chill, please.
ウォード、こいつは何者なんだ。なかなかいじめがいのありそうなやつじゃねえか。ジャンプ。ジャンプ。何回踏み逃してやる。次はないか。Wash your fucking field.
The fuck out of my face. Okay, that was easy. Okay.
Walking the streets is... Meet you there.
Oh, let me come with you. Fuck. I made a mistake. Talk to Vasquez. Meet Judy on Cloud's Terrace. Let's go to Cold Mirage. Let's get a bunch of story quests out the way. This is gonna be rough.
The oath is everything, everyone. The oath is everything.
The oath. Blood oath.
The oath. We are all the oath. And listen.
Your soul guaranteed.
Yes, we must remember. The oath is everything.
Alright, I can't watch this right now.
Be
Too high quality, too heart pumping.
Stop making new crappy songs with older, better songs. Hi, I'm Anthony Fantano, the
Anthony
internet's busiest music
Blamflano.
nerd, and I couldn't help but notice that there has been
Get out
a
my
really
way, bitch.
ugly rash spreading throughout much of mainstream pop music, where you have a lot of big artists who are just like, doing these interpolations. An interpolation in music refers to the act of taking an existing piece of music and recreating it note for note within a new piece of music. To be clear and specific, this is not the same thing as sampling per se, but to put it bluntly, when it's the end of the week and I'm looking at Apple Music and I'm looking at the new single and song releases and just kind of seeing what's out there and I'm sampling tracks, oftentimes I will put on a new song and I will instantly hear a melody, a lick, a riff, or a new vocal recreating and copying an old melody like from my youth or something. And it will often be attached to a much more mediocre song now,
Tiny
or
Mike
just
said
like some
that.
much shittier lyrics. Recent examples that come to mind are like that new David Guetta and BB Rexa track that basically lifts the vocal melody from that Eiffel 65 song. I'm blue, I'm in need of a god, I'm in need. There's also that new Troye Sivan song that lifts that little synth lick from the Bag Raiders cut where the, you know, it's hitting like
What's poppin', Rogue?
Drake and 21 Savage did a little interpolation recently from Daft Punk. There's also Lil Uzi Vert with Backstreet Boys. Coi Leray lifting the vocal harmonies and melody from that Leslie Gore song. It's my party and I'll cry if I want to, cry if I want to. Gail recently did a crappy revamp of the Crazy Town song Butterfly for the Barbie movie soundtrack. That song was already horrible to start with and was somehow made worse. An older but also still crappy example is the way that Flo Rida redid the chorus to that Dead or Alive track. You spin me right round, baby, right round. Can we stop? Can we stop? Can we stop? Can we stop? These are awful, terrible, just trash songs. And you're using the good parts of classic good songs we like to make them. If these new shitty songs didn't have the good parts of these older songs in them, they'd have no redeemable qualities whatsoever. The only good parts of these tracks are the pieces you took from those older songs. Which, I mean, I don't generally have an issue with borrowing ideas and sampling and so on and so forth. Lord knows we have celebrated a fair amount of music on my channels that do exactly that. But there's a right way to do it. There's a wrong way to do it. I don't think the best quality of the song when you're finished with it should be the part that you're borrowing. If the only part of your song that is worth remembering by the time it's finished and being released is the interpolation, stop right there. Don't release it. Don't put it out. This is just lazy. This is just a reflection of the creative bankruptcy of the current mainstream music industry. And I think it's a sign of a really ugly type of cynicism too, that you can't even drum up a new, good, compelling idea or anything, and instead we need to just copy note for note an idea from a past hit that we already know is successful to hand that over to a young music listening audience that might have not even heard it before, in hopes that, like, yeah, this'll hit twice if we show it to the right group of people who have no clue what the fuck it is. Which I think in a way is a sign of disrespect toward these younger music listeners too, especially when there's clearly so little effort going into these interpolated new songs. I don't want this video to be all like hate and negativity and to, you know, make it seem like I'm completely against the idea of interpolations across the board, because I'm not. I think there are actually a lot of good examples of it being done. I can't possibly list all of them, but I can at least, you know, throw a few out there. Ghetto Superstar, where they, you know, lift the vocal melody from Islands in the Stream, but obviously pair it with some pretty decent, very catchy lyrics that were super anthemic. To hear that tune go from, like, you know, a country duet ballad to a pop rap song, you know, a pop rap radio banger, though, mind you, is quite the switch up. There's Vampire Weekend with Souls of Mischief, with Step. I can even give it to Coi Leray on the song Players, that obviously calls back to Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five's The Message. Spiritualized, Elvis, Ariana Grande, Rodgers and Hammerstein, also JPEG Mafia, Britney Spears. There's lots of examples. And while I don't think all these songs are done in the same exact way, I think that there, you know, are some common positive qualities to them that make them work as interpolated works. The context that they pulled those tracks from originally and the songs that they eventually put them into are just so far different than the originals, and took a lot of imagination and creativity to, kind of bring those melodies and those ideas from other songs to a new place and conceive of them working in a totally different vibe,
Gotcha.
a totally different musical space artistically. Like, a lot of thinking and a lot of effort needed to happen between taking those ideas from point A to point B. And to me, that's interesting. That's creative. Not just taking some club or electronic track from decades ago, production pretty much the same, and just throwing some different shitty lyrics over, and that's it. That's like trying to do a crappy reboot of a show nobody asked for. Coi Leray with Players does bring her own kind of lyrical and narrative angle to that track and stays very true to the original aesthetics and production of the song, and I think kind of bringing that back in a way was interesting for 2023. I can respect it. Again, I think there are cool and interesting and creative ways to reappropriate melodies and even lyrical ideas from other tracks into your own, as long as, of course, you're giving appropriate credit for the artist you're borrowing from. Oof. There's also that freaking what is it? That Lupe Fiasco song off Lasers that brings the Modest Mouse chorus, and that was rough. There are good and positive examples of interpolations throughout popular music. Look, I would love to hear more, but I would like to hear them done in
where
such a way
the fuck is the
that feels
exit?
like it's actually in reverence and respect of the work that's being borrowed
Goddamn
from,
GPS
not just
fucking
a
up on me.
lazy, stupid copy and paste job with a worse song attached to it. And more often than not, that's kind of what I feel like we're getting. We deserve better. I think so, and you should think so too. And I think for now I'm going to leave it there. Stop ruining old songs this way. Over here next to my head is another video that you could check out. Hit that up, or the link to subscribe to the channel. Anthony Fantano, Interpolations Forever.
Than anything was to just post a bit of a lighthearted video. Sometimes it's nice when there's nothing objectively horrible happening, but trust me, there's plenty of whack stuff going on. But anyway, before we dive into all of that, let's take a quick look at today's sponsor. Today's video is sponsored by Grammarly. Pop quiz: which job do you think I spend the most time doing as a YouTuber? Research, video editing, looking good in every single outfit? Well, it turns out the answer is actually writing. With my last video clocking in upwards of over 15,000 words, it's safe to say that writing is a huge part of my work. Maintaining high quality is important to me, so that's why I love Grammarly and its advanced AI features, which are only a click away. Grammarly helps you ideate. Sometimes getting started can be the hardest part, but Grammarly is here to help.
We're late. Stevenson's been asking for you all day. He's in his dressing room. Go talk to him.
Ooh, alright. I think I kind of like this mission with me and Johnny are trying to free this guy. Well, not trying to free him, but trying to help him out of this situation. I forgot what he's. I think he's like in some cult worshiping some god, and they're exploiting him for views because he's mentally ill, and people like laughing at mentally ill people. Not like people like laughing at. Well, yeah. Oh, going to see Josh. You guys got any loot? Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm out. Unit has gone rogue. There's nothing. There's a staircase to nothing. What the fuck is this? Oh, it's a grate. It's closed off. You saved yourself with that. The fuck can I jump? What is this? A wall? So many weird walls in this game. Loot! Loot, loot. Blancha? What is that? Tuna? What did I get? Joshua, my man. Hold on, let me get some loot. Porridge, yum yum yum. Medkits. Oh, we need those. The fuck, Josh? No, I don't want to talk to Josh just yet. Pick up the fucking... There we go. Hold on, Josh. Let me read my shards just in case there's some important information that'll give me extra dialogue options. World. Articles. What kind of religious articles we got? He found Jesus in prison. What up? You wanted to see me?
Wanted to see me?
It seems you're the one friend I have. What does that say about me?
I hope you got your dick covered under that.
What am I doing? Why am I here? Or maybe I am insane after all. V?
Got pure intentions, but this isn't the way to act on them.
Got pure intentions, I know, but you're putting them to waste doing this. Something like this. Just not worth you dying for it.
It's too late now. There's no going back.
There's more dialogue options, though.
I am so afraid.
Don't give up yet.
Will you pray with me? A prayer of your choice.
Fuck, I can't save. It probably auto-saved before. I don't want to pray.
Don't want to pray.
Okay, then. Just give me a second.
No praying. I'll pray with him. I thought it was going to be an option to be like, no, don't pray. That's not what we need to do. We need action. Loot. Reading the Lord didn't help at all. Baby boy, what's poppin'? This is crazy, don't do it.
It's crazy what you plan to do. Gonna kill yourself while the studio will reap profits long after you're gone.
It's too late. I can't not do it anymore. I am so afraid. Will you pray with me? A prayer of your choice.
I'll pray with you. I'll pray.
Fine. Sure.
Kind of feel bad for him. I forgot exactly what happened. Hope he didn't, like, fucking rape and murder a bunch of people. Recite a fragment of the Amida. Recite a hymn from Rigveda. Pray in your own way. Pray in your own way.
Lord, through your divine wisdom and guidance, you bestow good fortune. I pray you do so this day upon Joshua, upon me.
Time to start. Let's go.
I truly hope Zuleika is praying for me now. Will you stay with me? To the end?
I want to see what the other dialogue prayers are.
It's
What's the Amida? The Rigveda.
Give her a vital breath of power and vigor. He whose commandments all the gods acknowledge. The Lord of death, whose shade is life immortal. What god shall we adore with our oblation?
Ne'er may he harm us, who is earth's begetter, nor he whose laws are sure, the heavens' creator. He who brought forth the great and lucid waters. What God shall we adore with our oblation?
Time to start. Let's go.
Maybe he'll be impressed that I know a prayer.
I hope Zuleika is praying for me now. Will you stay with me to the end?
Yes.
I would like you to wield the hammer. Nail me to the
Oh,
cross.
fuck. Fuck.
Wasting time here.
What do I do? If I say fine, I'll do it. I know the RPG element of this game sucks. So if I say fine, I'll do it, and it comes to actually do it, is my character just gonna automatically nail him to the cross, or can I last minute be like,
Wasting
no?
time here.
Shut the fuck up! Or can I just be like, no, last minute? No, I'm not doing this shit. Fuck everybody. I'm gonna kill all of you. Josh, you're coming with me back to camp. Come back to my apartment. Bringing those fresh nips. I won't do it.
No way.
Then please, just stay by my side.
I will.
All right.
I will.
Phew. Let's do this.
You fucking bitch. She got a nice ass though. Goddamn, I can fix her. She got that fucking corpo lesbian haircut. Is that a thing? Do I have to sit? Oh, fuck. I gotta keep Josh. I'm gonna do anything to keep Josh alive. Oh, shit. They better not nail him to the cross. This is fucking crazy. No. Oh, this fucking... Oh, shit, he's gonna do it. Fuck. I'm gonna do it.
Capu. Fine.
I thought the prayer would somehow change his decision. Let's do a fragment of Amida. I haven't done that one yet.
Pardon us, our Father, for we have sinned against thee. Forgive us, our King, for we have transgressed. For you are a good. Blessed are you. Oh, behold our affliction and wage our battle. Redeem.
No, I'm not doing that one. I'm gonna pray in my own way. I got you, Josh. Nothing bad is gonna happen to you. Not on my fucking watch. My boy, let's go.
Wanted to see. Capu. Fine. Lord. All right, Joshua. I'll do it.
Fuck.
Thank you.
God damn it.
Let's do this. You're gonna have to say some lines. A few. We'll put them up on the prompter for you.
Oh, God. We are punished justly, for we receive our deeds deserved, but this man is done. Please remember me when you come. Let me come in your kingdom. Is there anything else I could take? Take out my gun? No. Won't work. Let's deactivate the cross, the nails. Can we deactivate? Is that a fucking light on the hammer? What is that? That's probably some super tech shit. Bro, look at those nails! Guy just nailed him right into that woman's skull. She's being an asshole.
Are you not the Messiah? Save yourself and save us.
Nail Joshua to the cross. Fuck, light is not working. Oh, fuck. Hammer. There's really no other option. This is a terrible fucking RPG. Come on. Where's the choice?
Do you not
Fuck.
fear God? You stand condemned under the same sentence.
Quit.
I can't do this.
I'm not gonna let those dickheads nail him. I'll do it myself. I thought finally I got an option to stop it, but no. You stop it and just the other guy comes and does it. Fucking bullshit, man. Maybe we can save him when he gets on the cross.
Lord. All right.
Shut up, asshole. Get comfy, Brody. He's absolutely gonna die when I cross. He's gonna start dripping so much blood. He'll lose consciousness and die. Brain failure.
Are you not the Messiah? Save yourself and save us.
Don't look at me in the eyes, Joshua, please. Oh God. Please don't.
Do you not fear God? You stand condemned.
Jesus
under the same
Christ,
sentence.
V. Damn, V, you're really putting your heart into it. You don't... Oh, fuck. Let's just make this quick.
Father, forgive them.
Fuck, man.
We are punished justly, for we receive what our deeds deserve. But this man has done no wrong. Remember me when you come into your kingdom.
We just crucified a man.
Truly I say to you, today you will be with me in paradise. Father, Father, into thy hands I commit my spirit.
Amen.
Smoking that Josh pack, huh? We'll see about
Probably
that.
my hardest gig, that, but I got through it.
What now?
Going home, where I'll sleep for 2 days straight. Be in touch about your compensation soon.
The world shouldn't see this. Oh. Then Joshua would have. I don't know if Joshua would have done it for nothing. At least he would have. Oh, fuck.
You shouldn't release the BD. The world shouldn't see it.
That's not up to you, that's not up to
Of
me.
course, because dialogue doesn't
I'll
matter.
call you.
Dialogue doesn't fucking matter. Bye, Josh. Can't jump. Fuck. Ah, man. Where's all the quests? There they are. Okay, let's do... We got the bazaar. Let's do a little side job real quick. How far is it? 400? Let's go. Pull up, pull out. Got that AI car. Oh, get over here. Got some baddies. Oh, ass. Got the snake going up there. Wide open. That'd be me next Friday. Oh, excuse me. Didn't mean to. Oh! The slow-mo moans. It sounded like sex. Oh! 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 That was awesome. Oh, I have some dirty boys up there. Hold on. Militech? I can't attack them. I get in trouble. I just jump down there. All right.
You come up with ideas to kickstart your writing faster than ever. Grammarly helps you reply. From summarizing
Oh,
emails
fuck.
to suggesting replies, emptying your inbox has never been easier. Grammarly helps you revise. The most important thing is clarity, and Grammarly can help you paraphrase, streamline, and revitalize your work instantly. These are just a few of the ways Grammarly can help you improve your writing from start to finish. And you know what the best part is? You can try Grammarly for free today. Sign up and download Grammarly for free at grammarly.com/wallace09. To access extra features, you can get 20% off Grammarly Premium. Again, that's grammarly.com/wallace09. Now, without further ado, let's get into the video. So usually with the videos I post on this channel, I have to give a lot of backstory, but this time I'm delighted to say there's actually only one thing you need to know that happened before this event took place. A few years ago, a video started making the rounds in which someone at a SZA concert was posting SZA whack on their Instagram story, literally as she was performing right below them on stage. I think the video
That
is
got
kind
a
of
double
iconic,
warning.
if nothing else, for
This guy's about
its
to fuck me
juxtaposition.
up.
Did this person not know what
Yeah,
SZA was
let's
like
go.
live before attending? Are they just lying? Like, no matter
about
how
to rob
you
me
look
for all
at
my
it,
shit.
I think it's a really funny clip. Sort of the duality of humans, if you will. So this meme and its constant circulation in SZA's community would explain why this one fan decided to recreate it. In this now deleted TikTok she posted where she said, "How I live knowing that one of the biggest music artists of the decade personally hate DM'd me for an hour straight," she starts off by explaining that her intentions were pretty straightforward.
So obviously I recreated it and I posted it on the gram, whatever.
And honestly, I would say we're off to a very neutral start. Yeah, you are saying that SZA's whack, but first of all, that's just an opinion. And also, it's very clearly a joke, to me at least.
So I posted it to my 250 Instagram followers, and then SZA commented this. She said, "Y'all not human and it's sad."
Still have my cyberware.
Now, you're gonna notice this a lot throughout this TikTok, that this girl will highlight just like one portion of a message and sort of leave out, I guess, really important information. So SZA's comment says, "Yes, y'all are not human and it's sad," which sounds very harsh. But in actuality, let's just do a bit of a Sesame Street here and read it together. I don't think you realize how messed
Find
up
and
that actually
retrieve
is
the
and how hurtful it
equipment
was back then,
optional. What
and
do you
how
mean
it ruins
fucking
my
optional?
confidence and desire to perform live. Y'all are not human and it's sad. Really wish you the best. Love. Heart emoji. Now, out of context, y'all are not human sounds like some sort of horrible, I guess, condemnation. But it's pretty clear to me she's literally just saying, y'all don't have any empathy. Can you be human and see how this could be hurtful to me, I guess? At least that was my interpretation of it. But anyway, the girl in the video deletes SZA's comment. Totally, just off the post.
I deleted it because I was embarrassed. And she also DM'd me and said, "Not okay, space period." And so I was like, "Oh my god, why is SZA in my DM?" So I just said, "Sorry, it was just a joke." I didn't think she'd come back to it or anything. I was like, "What?" But she came back to it, obviously. You can read it here.
Yes, let's read it. So here we have SZA being pretty open and honest. She does thank her for coming to the tour, but she's questioning her decision to leave the post up, as well as her decision to delete SZA's comment, explaining how the post sort of made her feel. And she says, "Before I block you, I just want to remind you, I'm a person. Like, I have feelings and a life and anxiety like anyone else. It's hard to really have courage to get up on stage and even want to do my job. My feelings matter. I don't bother anyone, and being the butt of a joke just because you're popular doesn't make it better or okay. Peace." And you know what? Even though things are already getting a little bit charged, I would still describe this as neutral. Even if you don't understand where someone's feelings are coming from, everyone does have a right to explain how things make them feel. And also, I personally feel like I totally understand where she would be coming from in this scenario. Like, to make one thing clear, I've never performed live anywhere ever, but obviously when you're up there on stage, you would want to really believe that you're making people's days better and that they're enjoying it and that they love it. So I guess that real insecurity that's being preyed on of like, oh snap, everyone in this audience might actually totally hate
all my
what I'm
equipment
doing
back.
and they're just here to make fun
I'm about
of
to
me.
go
I can
fucking
only speak for
nuts.
myself, but that
Where's my
would be
chinga?
horrible to go through every night and to just never be allowed to say it, I guess, because
assault rifle, my
I'm a celebrity.
Psalm,
But I also really want to point out
and my
that
errata.
SZA's feelings don't really make it wrong that this girl recreated this meme in the first place. Because if you didn't have
Close.
that extra context,
Yes.
I really do believe it's totally
Yes.
harmless.
It's all
But you
coming
can
together.
see that she says,
all
"Girl,
coming
please."
together.
I'm literally just an 18-year-old girl recreating a meme that was posted like 3 years ago. crying emoji. And for me personally, this is where I think it sees this to be neutral and it starts to be really lame. SZA was really addicted. Like, I'm literally just an 18-year-old girl recreating a meme that was posted like 3 years ago, crying emoji. And for me personally, this is where I think it sees this to be neutral and it starts to be really lame. SZA was really just like, yo, this kind of hurts my feelings and triggers my anxiety, and like you deleted my comment where I explained that, and you also left the post up, so that's leading me to feel like you're not being empathetic. And this girl's response is like, it was just a joke, and also I'm only 18 years old. Like, it's sort of giving invalidation, I'm not gonna lie, and I do question what the deflection to age has to do with anything in this scenario. Like, 18 is a pretty young age, that's for sure, but what does that really have to do with anything here? You are certainly still responsible for yourself. And if this was just an offhand comment, I wouldn't think much of it. But you're gonna see this sort of keeps coming back up.
While I was like reeling, this random account sent me this DM that said 0 on his and the account is like full of photos with SZA. This is SZA's friend. SZA's friend came after me.
So here the fan is sort of implying that SZA sent one of her friends after her, which there's not really proof of that. SZA denies that this happened, and what is a lot more likely in my opinion is just that this person saw SZA's comment and therefore decided to try to go to bat for her. These DMs are private, but obviously SZA's initial comment before it was deleted was very public, and it was up for over 10 hours as you saw in the screenshot. Now, as for this fan's response, I'm not gonna lie, this is getting really weird.
You're 15 years older than me. Why are you coming after me for a meme? I didn't mean it. Obviously, I don't think you're wacky.
I want to see that cyber psychosis that I got. What is that?
Like, why are you coming after me, a genuine fan, instead of your real haters?
22.
You're 15 years older than me. And it's a recurring meme in the fan base, and no one genuinely.
Let's get Synapse Burnout in there.
You're a multiple-time Grammy nominee, and you've.
I don't really
so many
use
awards.
reboot optics.
Obviously, you aren't whack. It's situational irony I thought was funny. She goes on to say, I clearly enjoyed your concert, so I don't know why you're coming after me as if you don't have 15 million followers on Insta and the top album of the century. Please just focus on yourself and improving better relationships with your fans and going after your real haters who genuinely don't support you, because that's not me or my intentions. And to me, this is really coming across as reasons why SZA should not care, or I guess is not entitled to her feelings. And SZA says this much. I don't know what makes you think that because I'm famous or older than you, I'm not allowed to have feelings. I haven't sicked anyone on you. You chose to make this meme. I didn't even post about it. Yikes. And from these comments, it doesn't even sound like SZA was aware of the one guy who was in this girl's DMs. But yeah, I'm gonna be honest, I've crossed fully over into this is not cool at all territory. And the way this girl is so passive aggressive, like, why don't you just focus on yourself and your actual haters instead of fans who support you like me when you're so like old basically and successful? Like, why do you even care about this? I could see if SZA was just like, yo, I don't think this is funny personally. I think that might be an appropriate response to be like,
I'm coming for that asshole
why
next.
do you care if this is funny or not? I'm just a fan of yours. But again, the fact that SZA multiple times was really clear about the anxiety aspect just makes this such a weird and smarmy response.
What are you flopping over there for?
And, you know, she said that, classic. Then she DM'd me like 10 times in a row and said all this. I didn't curse at you, call you names, you lacked empathy, humanity, all this. I'm like, okay, girl.
Anyway, the she DM'd me 10 times in a row is really funny because this girl literally just sent SZA a message so long it took up like the entire screen. But again, these messages really just seem to be a continuation of what SZA was saying before. I'm actually talking to you like a real person. I wish you could do the same. It's called empathy, humanity, and honest communication. I didn't curse at you, call you names, or send anyone your way, or say anything about it publicly. I literally just said, hey, this isn't cool, and this original meme was a huge part of my state of anxiety that I had for years. This hurts my feelings. And instead of saying, oh man, I get that and I'm sorry, you deleted my comment and laughed. Even in her reaction to it now, this fan is just so dismissive, like, okay girl. Dude, this is like, what was the intention when you posted this? Was this because you really thought that this was awesome and cool and you just seem like you're really just sticking it to the man? I also want to point out this girl doesn't actually have to delete anything just because it hurts SZA's feelings, to be clear. I mean, personally, if you are hurting someone's feelings for absolutely no reason and contributing to their anxiety, just because you're doing something that you thought was
Stefan.
funny. I think I would probably delete it. I don't know. But I just don't feel like it's wrong to question why it wasn't deleted, or why this person was shrugging it off, or why this person deleted her comment.
Where is this bitch?
The girl then tells SZA she was rude. No, you were rude about it and never worded it in that nature. And you should have simply said, hey, thanks for coming, but
Taking
the
out
last
the
slide
pistol
really
for
upsets
him.
me. If you want positive constructive criticism, you have to give positive constructive criticism. And I'm like, bruh, y'all would never catch me, let alone saying this to someone, but then posting about it publicly as if I'm proud. Tone policing is really just gross and annoying. And in my experience, tone policing people who are explaining problems that they're having with any sort of
After you booted up that virtue, you started glitching out and...
Save your breath. You conned me. You knew what you were doing. You want to know what I do, though?
Now hold up, yo. Let's all be chill for a second.
Get the fuck out of here. What the fuck are these two options? I'll let you go this time, or leave Night City and don't come back. The fuck kind of shitty ass options? I can't like extort him, or what about get my money back? I got it back. I'm at $1 million eddies.
mental states like anxiety or depression.
Stupid
it's
fucking
just
dialogue
so
options.
counterproductive. And to be clear, I'm not saying that just because you have some sort of mental things that
Game
you're
is so
working
dumb.
through, you have absolutely no responsibility.
They're lucky
for
the
how you talk
combat
to
is
people,
is
because
good.
that's not true. But in this
and
case,
you
putting
have
words
lots
in
of stuff for
SZA's
me to do
mouth
around the map.
and saying what she should have said instead of being rude, it's just, where is this coming from is what I want to know.
What are you gonna do? Call the media and be like, oh my god, this Maya said that I was whack. Like, what are you gonna do? There's just so much power imbalance. I just don't get it. My mistake. Like, I thanked you for coming. She's so back and forth in this. And the punctuation.
Alright, I am officially not a fan. Making fun of SZA's grammar at this point and trying to drag her for internet points for not perfectly expressing the way she had anxiety to you. This is... I don't want to use a word that's too strong and it sort of undermines my point, but
Being a
it's
bitch?
kind of like bullying vibes, you know what I mean? Especially when you consider the fact that this girl totally just leaked these DMs without SZA's permission. Also, calling it a power imbalance is sending me. Y'all really went to therapy one time and you're like, I'm gonna use every single word I heard in this session in every single scenario for the rest of my life. I really wish people would stop overusing words like gaslighting and power imbalance. Those are just the ones I think of off the top of my head. Like, where is the power imbalance here? SZA has not used her platform to disadvantage you in any way. She is literally talking. At this point, is it a power imbalance to even be in the same room as somebody who is not as popular as you? Why have we already gotten, you're too old for your feelings to be valid? This is a power imbalance and you're in the wrong for bringing this to my attention. I'm gonna make fun of your grammar and the way you punctuate things because I don't agree with you. I swear this TikTok is like a everything wrong with kind of video, and she really posted this thinking she was in the right.
She said she's been really respectful and it didn't have to be this deep. It really didn't, but she was the one who kept like bringing it up. I was like, oh, I'm sorry. She was the one who wouldn't just leave it alone.
One thing you definitely could argue is that SZA could have sort of just dropped this. She certainly could have chosen not to respond. But can I ask you this though? If you can't succinctly explain why something is affecting your mental health, does that forfeit your right to bring it up at all? Because I really don't think so. Now I'm just gonna speak from my personal experience. I have been pretty frank in the past about how I have suffered from anxiety, and honestly, I continue to do so. Like, that is just part of my brain makeup for better or for worse, and I've put a lot of work into learning how to work around that instead of, you know, feeling really limited by it all the time. But when I tell you my biggest compulsion as someone who suffers from anxiety is to over-explain things, y'all would not believe. I feel like I am constantly just fighting in my own head, first of all, to justify the reason why I have anxiety and the fact that I'm allowed to feel this way. I used to constantly try to justify to other people, like, I'm not sure if I'm explaining this in a way that makes sense. Really just trying to let them know that this
Please
was
don't
like
go
the
inside me like
anxiety
that
and not
again.
me. And to this day, when things
don't
get
like it.
bad, I really do find myself just sort of doing what SZA's doing. I just ramble. And usually the people I'm talking to aren't being dismissive and annoying and making fun of my grammar
Yeah,
and
just slip some
laughing at
Spanish
me and
in
saying
there.
I'm too old to be, you know, entitled to my
Hey,
opinions. And
mama.
even at
Oh.
that, I still feel
Mommy
the need
Michael.
to really just make sure they believe me. Because sometimes I don't believe myself. So I could only imagine how it feels to be in this scenario where you are basically being invalidated. Yeah, it's gonna result in a bunch of messages. You are probably gonna want to go back and forth with this person to make sure that you're explaining yourself properly. And the sad thing is, if anxiety is not something this other person struggled with, you're never even going to be able to explain it in a way that they would fully understand. And I feel like that is clearly what's happened here.
It's not even a hate comment. It's just, I'm just like, girl, you need to take a chill pill. You can have your feelings and everything, but when you're famous on such a wide scale, there's bound to be things like that. You can't control every single negative thing someone says about you. And I didn't even say anything negative. I was recreating a meme.
It's so funny. I picked this topic because I specifically wanted something lighthearted. But I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of balding over here. Take a chill pill is probably the last thing you would want to say to somebody who's expressing any sort of struggle with anxiety, but you know, it's a vibe. Now, I don't want to make a sweeping indictment of Gen Z as a whole, especially since I am literally Gen Z, despite being one of the oldest living members, but I feel like
I'm sorry,
people
Judy.
who have spent their entire lives online sometimes can be predisposed to a tendency
Death
to
and
not
taxes.
realize that the things that happen are real.
Thanks
so like,
for the
let me
free
do a better
gun.
job explaining that. If everything that you are used to consuming can just be closed in a tab or refreshed or just otherwise made to go away instantly, I really do think it leads some people to believe that like other people's feelings and just their lived experiences aren't actually real. I feel like that's the attitude you see when people record people without their permission, or they perform these stupid YouTuber pranks. And so I feel like from the very beginning, SZA's argument was like, yo, I'm a real person and this is how I really feel. But this was pretty much a losing battle
Gotta get your
because on
double
a fundamental
jump legs.
level, I literally feel like this girl doesn't perceive this situation as real from the way she's talking about it. Why is it funny that someone is upset? Look, you didn't have to delete the post. I have anxiety, but listen, I can't control people either, so I don't go around trying to make people delete things that could trigger me. But that absolutely does not invalidate my right to speak up if I feel a certain way, and that didn't invalidate SZA's right to share her feelings. To react this way by leaking her DMs and making fun of her, and really just taking something that was so vulnerable and said
Just
to you in
walk,
privacy,
Judy.
and trying to use it to make her seem bad is disgusting. You started this video off by saying that she hate DM'd you for an hour. Where was the hate? Truly, where were the hate DMs? On your end, but you're clearly not ready to have that conversation.
I'm obviously a fan and it's obviously a joke. Why was she coming after me so hard? She was like, you wanted me to see that. You have 17 million Instagram followers. I tagged you. I didn't think you were gonna see it because like 1 million people tagged you.
And this whole I didn't ever think you were gonna see it thing is so stupid because why did you tag her? Like really deep down, why did you tag her? SZA, like many artists and otherwise famous people, she interacts with people online. She'll comment clearly on fan content, and this is something you would obviously know being in her fan base. So there's really no way you could have posted this without knowing there was a non-zero chance SZA would see this. Like, in many ways, I almost want to say you absolutely did want her to see this, even if you just thought she was gonna find it funny. I don't believe this person had negative intentions from
Can I
the
talk to
get-go.
Judy?
But
I'm
right
sorry, I
now,
didn't mean to
all
ignore
they
you.
have is just negative energy. Anyway, they end it with this.
What do you think, girl?
And I have to say, the quiet thumbs down kind of sent me, because it could go
Hold
either
on,
way.
Judy.
It could be like, yeah,
I
SZA
sensed something with a
sucks.
head.
Yeah, I don't think you handled this the right way. Yeah, I don't care about this at all. Yeah, this coffee I was
Trying to
drinking
take
was
out my
kind of
pistol.
lame. I think I'm just
Come
gonna
on.
start using the ambiguous thumbs down in my day-to-day life.
God
It feels
damn it,
very-
come on,
very
Judy.
versatile, very multi-purpose. Anyway, in the spirit of asking people what they think, I figured we could turn to some online opinions other than this girl's friend and see what they have to
Talk
say.
to
So like I
Judy,
said,
yes.
this was popping off on Twitter and there were a lot of responses. This person said, a lot of y'all act like this. Once you view someone as famous, they become an object without feelings. I would have done the same thing as
Bye.
SZA. I want to say I like this tweet because it's bringing up a really good point. I don't think that the girl in the video is some sort of like uniquely bad person. I think she is literally just emulating behavior that is really, really widespread because people really don't envision the people they follow as real people. Now, as for their assertion that they would have done the same thing as SZA, I personally would not. I don't really DM fans about anything, mostly because I feel like for me, the comments are enough. If you're particularly vigilant in the comment section, you may even find me responding to one or two here and there. And obviously not everything posted about me on the internet is going to be positive or in agreement with everything I say, but I don't really feel the need to devote space on my platform
Here we
to
go.
like reacting to
Just
that.
burning everybody
and I
up.
don't feel the need to use my personal time, I guess, to really get into it with the people who are saying these things. So I wouldn't really agree that I would have done the same thing as SZA, but I can see why SZA did, and I can see why this person would as well. Ooh, I love this one. I hate that people learn the term power imbalance to absolve themselves of any responsibility.
Meet
Her
River
excuse that
near the
everyone does it, and I
informant.
paid
Oh,
money
that's
to
right,
see
we're
you
doing
so I can
River's
tag you
mission
in lame
too.
stuff is sad. But when you remember that SZA would get this energy 1,000 times every day, enraging. And this person responds saying, yeah, it was a bit of entitlement. I'm a fan and I pay money to see you, so I can make jokes at your expense regardless of how you feel about them. Those parasocial relationships people form are really sick. And again, I'm glad this was brought up because power imbalances are real. Okay, I'm not here to pretend like there are not scenarios in which this would be a valid argument. In fact, there are, by default, huge imbalances of power between celebrities and fans. But SZA was in no way using her celebrity to her advantage in this conversation. In fact, she was very much trying to disconnect herself from it in that moment and really emphasize the fact that at the end of the day, she's still just a person. And the follow-up tweet is funny too because it really does raise the question of, you really think that you're free from criticism just because you paid money to see her? SZA doesn't really owe you anything, I guess, in that respect. I mean, I guess what she owes you is to perform, since that's what you paid to see, and that is what happened. So anything beyond that, I think, is a little silly. Now, I didn't want to only read supportive things. This one says, the people under this post supporting a celebrity having a manic breakdown in someone's DMs over a meme is even wilder than the story itself. And I really don't like this tweet for a lot of reasons. Like, this literally has thousands of people liking it, but frankly, there was nothing manic about SZA's responses. Nothing she was saying was inconsistent or nonsensical. And I think to categorize it as a breakdown is just, it's like a really convenient way to try to dismiss somebody who's bringing up valid concerns about their mental health. And to say that this happened over the meme is obviously not the case because SZA's beef very quickly became the fact that this person was laughing at her for reacting this way and deleting her comment and refusing to do anything about the post. But I mean, there were people agreeing with this, so what can you do? This person said she didn't think SZA was gonna see it, but she tagged her in the post? Y'all can't come for these celebrities and then when they come for you back, want to act like they're bullying you. Take the heat and shut up. I like this one because once again, I can think of precisely 0 reasons to tag someone if you don't in the back of your mind think there's a chance they could see it. And also, SZA didn't even really come for this girl at all. All of the invalidation of like, oh, you're old, your grammar's dumb, blah, 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 was coming from this girl's side. SZA was really just saying, this is me, this is how I feel. Why are you reacting this way? SZA needs a backbone, I'm sorry. I personally feel like the lack of backbone was demonstrated by the fact that you were so mad that SZA responded to you in a way you didn't like. You're gonna expose the DMs for everyone to see. That's more boneless behavior than what I'm seeing on SZA's end, which is just explaining your feelings. Also, part of the reason I'm even making this video is because this girl deleted her entire internet presence. I usually don't talk about things involving just random people because I wouldn't want to contribute to people going to that person's page. But from what I saw, this person's page doesn't even exist anymore. Again, boneless behavior. Anyway, the last tweet I'm gonna respond to says, I think SZA was being extra about it, honestly. She's allowed to feel whatever way, but all she said was SZA whack. I'm sure there's been way worse said about her that she isn't able to respond to. And what I would say is, I actually don't disagree with almost anything in this. SZA definitely was spending a lot of energy on something that I guess she wasn't really gaining anything in the long run because this person wasn't being reasonable. If you want to categorize that
Oh,
as
why did
being
I
extra,
upgrade the
can see where you're
Kappa?
coming from.
Fuck.
And like this person said, she is allowed to feel hurt. But
The
at the
Skippy.
end of the day, I would
God
argue
damn
that
it.
she's allowed
Wait,
to be
wow.
extra
Oh, no, I
as
upgraded
well,
the song.
because that really does just come with being a person. Sometimes your opinions about things are stronger than they warrant, and that is just really how it is. It be like that. And in this case, I wouldn't even say that SZA's opinion was stronger than it quote-unquote should have been, because she was referencing anxiety, which famously doesn't really pay attention to what is or is not a big deal, and it just makes everything feel like a way bigger deal.
So everything
than it
over
is.
there is
Twitter
maxed
wasn't the
out.
only place that this was happening, of course, because the original video is a TikTok.
Gotta upgrade
a
my
lot of
quick
people
hacks,
were weighing
too.
in on TikTok as well.
Genuinely think about it this way: if SZA was not a celebrity, you would not be like, oh my god, she was going back and forth with her for an hour. You would be like, oh, she was having a conversation. Like, the way y'all phrased it, you would think SZA was in those DMs talking to herself.
That is pretty much exactly how I would word this. This idea that SZA was like embarrassing herself or doing things beneath her is crazy because she was literally just talking.
And this creator invalidated her feelings and then posted it to the internet to show like, oh wow, look how this grown woman reacts to a meme. And it's like, no, this is a grown woman reacting to y'all like making fun of her. Like, just take the celebrity and fan portion out of it. If this was just normal people, it would be wrong.
I've fallen into that trap in the past of like being really young and wanting to bring up people's ages as a gotcha. Like, oh yeah, well you're 30. Why do you care? But I very quickly was shown that that was wrong for obvious reasons. You don't just lose your right to, I guess, express yourself in a less than ideal way or even just make mistakes just because you crossed a certain age. And you can't change your age. So getting that held against you is really, really lame. But I feel like a lot of young people really do have like an us versus them mentality when it comes to this. But let me just tell you this. Now that I'm 25 and I am closer to SZA's age than I am to this girl's age, I just want to be really clear. 30 is not old, y'all. 30 is not old.
Visit
on the one hand,
Reprodoc
it's
to
like
upgrade,
very
okay.
old. Like you basically have one foot in the grave. Like if you're 30 and you're watching this, I am surprised they even let you out the nursing home. But on the other hand, all jokes aside, now that I'm in my mid-20s, I realize how sort of meaningless the distinction is between 30 and other ages. It's just really not the flex you think it is to tell someone, oh yeah, you're past a certain age. Got you there. Like you didn't really prove anything.
On TikTok and on Instagram, it's always from like these young teenagers. The moment that the person they're being mean to claps back and says, hey, like, can you like not be mean to me? It's always, aren't you like 15 years older than me? Why are you even responding to me? How weird are you? Like, scary.
Let's do a TikTok challenge where we just stop. That's the challenge. Can we do that one? Anyway, speaking of old decrepit people like me, if you were on the internet, say 5 or so years ago, you may remember the skinny legend meme. I mean, it still gets used actually. I guess just by people on Twitter trying to jokingly say that someone is iconic. But part of the reason this meme was so weird was because it revolved around this one person's pictures, Rainy Rodriguez. She's an actress and a singer, and so people would Photoshop her to be skinnier and say like skinny legend as a joke. And that is objectively, to me anyway, not funny. That has to really mess with you to see yourself in any capacity that you are not being represented this way by people. But someone really tried to say, embrace the attention, Rainy. I guess to try to make fun of her for not being okay with this meme. And Rainy very publicly clapped back and was like, what do you mean? She called it inappropriate, and she really makes the point that just because you think it's funny doesn't really make it okay. And I remember a lot of people were pushing back against her for some reason, but I think a lot of those people were wrong. She is totally entitled to feel how she wants to feel. She is literally the woman in the pictures. The artist FKA Twigs also got one of those "you're such a skinny legend" comments like 4 or 5 years ago, and she responded very gracefully, in my opinion, basically explaining like while she is very like toned and strong and all of that, being skinny is not what she aims to be, and she doesn't really feel like that's a healthy thing for her to be associated with, and she doesn't feel right when she thinks to herself, I want to be skinny. And she even says, I hope you understand where I'm coming from and why that term feels problematic to me. I am also totally open to your opinion on this. And wouldn't you believe people still came for her and said that she's doing too much? Girl, it's not that serious. Not you writing an essay. Girl, it's just a joke. Learn to take a joke. So all this to say, as a celebrity, I feel like you're never gonna get it right. I think there are a lot of reasons not to have sympathy for celebrities. Like when your entire image is generally just calculated PR designed to elevate your commercial success, and you do literally have enough money to dry your tears with dollar bills, I think usually there's not too much, I guess, to complain about. But when you have people that are talking about their real feelings, their bodies, the way they feel in their skin, the way they're being made to feel, their mental health struggles, their anxieties, these things don't go away. They'll never be invalidated because frankly, anxiety does not care whether you have hundreds of millions of followers or not. And that is just the long and short of it. Anyway, if I had to sum up my opinion, I don't think that girl did anything wrong initially. I think posting a funny meme is fine, and nothing about it seemed like it was designed to hurt SZA's feelings. Subsequently, I don't think SZA did anything wrong either. Responding to something that wasn't designed to hurt your feelings with, oh hey, this actually did hurt my feelings, just letting you know, that's valid. It didn't come across as nicely as this girl wanted it to, so she turned it into a whole thing, which I thought was just pretty gross. And at the end of the day, I don't support the TikTok at all, and I think choosing to expose her DMs like that and basically just make her believe that she's wrong for having these feelings is really disgusting. But that is my take on it. I say it every video nowadays, I am just a random person on the internet, and since you are too, I would really like to know what you think about this. Like, if ever there was a time to leave a comment, I think now's the one, because I'm probably going to be reading a lot more of them than usual. Because overall, the situation fascinates me. At the end of the day, it seems like feelings were hurt on both sides, but I can deal with hurt feelings, and sometimes that's the happiest ending you can get, that no one was actually hurt beyond that. So you know what? I'll take it. Anyway, as always, thank you for the support, thank you for watching if you happen to make it this far, and I can't wait to see you in the next one. Bye.
Why is he patrolling all of a sudden?
Got spotted. Okay. Hang on, you're getting too old for this.
River, you dumb piece of shit. Oh shit. Scared me.
I know this is hard to accept, but aliens are living in Stonehenge.
Come on, this is coming from the guy who uses cable internet.
With upload speeds slower than downloads?
They've mastered the art of mind control, and they have disguised themselves as Bigfoot flattening the Earth.
How can you believe in that?
In flat Earth, of course.
No, cable. Why pay for internet with slower uploads?
Frontier Fiber gives you equal speeds.
Come on, that's crazy talk.
Believe in change. Uncable yourself, and for a limited time, get Fiber 500 internet for $39.99 a month.
God damn it.
Let's try to find something that looks like an office.
Put in my comments page for the week. Oh, nice. Cool stuff. That's an urban planning exam. Oh, pretty sick. My court case went very well. Amazing. Love to see it. Hopefully the person you're suing gets the death penalty. I'm joking. I'm joking. I hope everything ends well.
I got to do the talking. You're the detective.
Thank you, Windows.
A warrant, right?
I've been starting to read more finally. Incredible. I got a temporary job. Amazing. That's actually really nice. I hope it goes well for you. I hope they treat you well. Winning lots of Tetris battles. Ooh. You're smart. So you're a bit of a shape rotator, huh? A little bit of a. We got some shape. We got any shape rotators in chat? Does anybody know? Anybody consider themselves a word cell? And okay, name yourself. You are. Do we have any? If you one in chat if you're a word cell, two in chat if you're a shape rotator. Be honest. Be honest with your streamer, okay? We got some shape rotators. We have some word cells. So I'm happy with it. Okay, 1 second.
Ah, there you are.
Okay, 1 second.
Looks like an office, sort of.
Yep. Stiff as a board. You ask me, he's been dead at least an hour. No. No trauma card. Pretty sure he didn't bring it on purpose.
Skip forward isn't working.
A club like this, you don't want TT banging down the door when you're banging away and things start to heat up.
Okay. And
Hard, probably.
I think that's everything.
Too heavy and messy.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do that. Coroner will find him at home. I'll tell him how to
What is a
write it up.
word cell?
A doobie.
Somebody. Was English your best subject in school? And do you love adding new words onto your vocabulary?
Yes.
And do you love thinking in terms of words and not like shapes or concepts or ideas? Or are you a shape rotator? One of the people who can look at a very wonky, weird, wacky shape and then rotate it in their head in any like certain degree, visualize it near perfectly and be able to implement that into their real world life, whether that be their job or something else that's going on. You're great with shapes, with spaces, with materials and whatnot. One is greater than the other. So everybody is either a word cell or a shape rotator. I'm a word rotator. I should beat you. Illegal U-turn shoveling. What the fuck? Wait 1 second. Do you guys know those like kielbasa's?
Okay, I watched the recording.
You guys know those like horseshoe sausage kielbasa's or whatever?
I'm not in the mood for jokes.
Yeah. Well, let me show you something. Christ speaks. Christ speaks. That is what it's all
BD
about.
headset.
Thanks for the 16. Hello, Raiders. I hope you're well. Thanks for the raid, partner. I really appreciate you.
Hold on, man. I'm tripping out.
Hi, Raiders.
Let me see some wild shit.
The Schmeat? Yeah, Schmeat. Yeah, look at this. Look at the Schmeat dog. Look at this thing. Wait a second.
Come on.
Look at this Schmeat dog. Would you guys eat this? Is this 2 for T and T for 2? Or would you guys like gobble down the shaboing Schmeat by yourself? I love those. They taste so good. They taste so good. Why do they taste so good? By yourself, you would gobble down the horseshoe grilled dog by yourself? Can you imagine this?
That's
This
crazy.
Is something I would prepare for my girlfriend on like a nice like a dinner date type thing. We would eat it like Lady and the Tramp, you know what I mean, with the spaghetti. but we would gobble down the sausage together, end over end, until we reach the middle and then kiss. little cheesy, little mustardy, little ketchup kielbasa kiss.
Hey, dipshit.
Right? But the only problem is, what if one eats faster than the other person? Then they're gonna have to wait up for you to like catch up. She would eat yours. If I had let her, she would eat mine. You're right. I would eat all 3. What do you mean all 3?
What an asshole.
You can't eat all 3. You can't do that. That's too much. You're the real glizzy gobbler.
Fuck.
I can't keep up with this type of glizzy eating.
So.
I hate that they're called glizzies now. Well, they're not. Well, they've always been called glizzies if you were from the DC metro area. You know what I mean? If you're from the Baltimore, DC area, then you definitely would have known that they've been called glizzies for a hot minute.
So.
Skill issue? My tummy's too small. Wait a second. Hey babe. Hey babe. You're on stream, okay? Okay, listen. If would you love the kielbasa, right? Yeah. All right. I also love the kielbasa. Nowhere near as much as I love you, but I do love the kielbasa, okay? And you do too. Okay. So, next dinner date, all right? Would you want some kielbasa, dog?
Sure, we're gonna eat by the lake again.
Sure, we can eat by the lake. Sure, why not? Before it gets too cold.
Kielbasa, glizzy goblin by the lake.
Like this one coming up, but we want to say most of all, thanks so much. It has been a true pleasure. Bosch and Dr. Jones, we appreciate you spending time with us tonight.
It's been my pleasure. Nice to see you again, James.
You as well.
Wait, I don't. There's. Was that it's going to be an? If the threshold for something being socially.
Ooh, Reverdoc, I wanted to
is
see you
solve
got some
all human
upgrades to do.
problems, then that's going to cut out pretty much everything to have ever existed. I just want to know what porn is doing to people that they're not getting in real life. I mean, porn is just when you film people fucking. I mean, I've been with people in real life. Like, what am I what online is happening that is corrupting my brain in a manner distinct to what I can do in real life?
Well, the fact that you can't see a difference between porn and what happens in real life is a sign that you've become addicted to it.
I'm asking you, what difference is there? What new thing am I being subjected to?
One is real, and the other is an image. It's a flickering image on a screen that is a simulation of something real that, in a sense, violates the very nature of sexuality, which is private.
Like
it's
movies?
Intimate.
I've seen movies before.
Are we talking about pornography? Aren't we?
All movies are flickering images on a screen. I don't.
That's right.
So
that's right.
What's
Not all movies are pornographic movies, though.
So-
We're talking about pornographic movies.
Well, what makes that different? You can watch movies and
Because
sometimes
it's a
they're
portrayal
naked.
it's a portrayal of sexual behavior. That's what makes it different. Sexual activity.
What's the issue with that?
Makes it different. The issue. What is the issue with that?
Well, you're the one whose brain is uncorrupted by pornography. You should be able to pose a rational argument here, right?
I am posing a rational argument, and your darkened mind is not able to comprehend it.
Darkened
Why is
mind.
your darkened mind the criterion of reality here? I don't get this.
Enlighten me.
I'm willing to say this is not about me, but I get the sense you're saying it is about you, and if I can't convince you, then the argument fails.
I
That's
just
not
want to
an
know
argument.
what the difference is. You have one movie in which everyone is wearing a shirt, and then you have another movie in which a lady isn't. What's the categorical? I mean, back in the day, humans were all walking around naked anyway, right? I mean, where does the harm come in?
No, people never walked around naked.
Didn't Adam and Eve?
But the point here is that there was a distinction which you simply can't understand anymore because your mind is darkened. So let's get historical here, okay? Instead of this kind of a priori wheel spinning, there was a whole battle over obscenity throughout the 20th century. It began basically as soon as Hollywood started making films. They started testing boundaries, breaking down the moral fiber, the boundaries that the people had established at that time as what decent people did.
Why did Hollywood do that?
Because they wanted to make a quick buck.
Nice.
Because it's much cheaper and easier to show naked women than it is to build the Colosseum in Rome and have Ben-Hur's chariot race.
I think they're different
Okay?
markets, but I don't think Hollywood produces porn. I think that's a different market.
You don't think Hollywood produces porn. Is that a normative statement, or can I go on about the historical reality?
Do you mean like Hollywood, like studios, or just, or do you mean nebulously, like?
No, I mean like Hollywood studios. You obviously don't understand the history of Hollywood. There was a pre-production era. You can look up the books. Sin and Soft Focus is a book you can look up, and it's basically about the pre-code Hollywood. This is Hollywood in the 1920s. You got people like Mae West, Diamond Lil, and obviously anyone who is as jaded
Thanks, Judy.
as you are, having watched pornography, is not going to think that these images are transgressive. But the people
What
then
happens
did.
in those movies that's transgressive?
You could show someone's ankle, you could have innuendo, you could have nudity, like the Tarzan film with that German lady, I forget her name, but anyway, she's swimming naked in a pool.
I just don't understand what the issue with that is. Like, I'm naked underneath my clothing. Unless you're hiding a secret from me, you are too. I just don't understand. What about the depiction of nudity on a screen suddenly robs us of moral character?
Don't mind me just scanning everything. Making sure I have a way out after I kill you.
Were calculated to transgress social boundaries. They were calculated to do this. That's why they were created, and they created
like that.
I understand that. And they created outrage among the public. The public was demanding that government get involved and basically shut Hollywood down. Okay, so
God, these missions are fucking boring. So much talking. I wish I could just skip all this shit.
This was a battle between Protestants, Catholics, and Jews. Okay.
Oh, I forgot there's decisions to make.
The WASP elite ran the country. They were the guardians of the moral order. The Jews had just come from Eastern Europe. They had stolen this technology. They were using it to corrupt the morals of the people, and the people were outraged.
Stolen what technology?
The film technology.
How did they steal it?
That's a minor point.
I listen to you, Johnny.
I think they just
I don't tell him nothing.
Wait, actually, hold on.
Wait a minute. You're diverting me from the story here.
Well,
which
no.
is
But I've been reminded of historical allegory. In this example, is Hollywood not Christ-like? Jesus Christ was transgressive in his time, was he not? And when he preached his word to his flock, he attracted from Rome, the condemnation of the state. Transgression was the mechanism through which he, sacrificed himself to absolve.
Got nothing to say, Johnny? I didn't say anything. Are you proud of me?
Transgressive in an equivocal fashion that simply does
All right,
not
fuck
apply.
off.
Jesus Christ did not transgress the sensibilities of the people of his time. He went out of his way not to transgress those sensibilities.
He got crucified. I think he made a few people angry.
He did. He made the Jews angry, and they crucified him. You're absolutely right.
The Jews.
Wait, hold on. The Jews were acting on behalf of Rome, and Rome did not like Jesus Christ. You know those Colosseums you're fond of? They fed Christians to the lions, right? You guys were the transgressors back then.
Are we talking about pornography?
We're talking about transgression.
So anyway, back to the 1920s, Hayes tried to rein them in, and he failed. Okay, he failed to rein Hollywood in. They continued to produce these transgressive films. The people continued to be outraged.
Transgression is good, is it not? It's Christ-like.
No. So the people were outraged.
Wait, what do you mean no? What's wrong with transgression? Shouldn't we always work to push the boundaries of society forward?
No.
Why not?
No.
Christ did.
No, that's not what I've already explained. That you're ignoring what I said.
Have you read the Bible, sir? He was quite subversive in his time. I'm not diverting you. No discussion on Christ is the diversion. Everything in the world but Christ is the diversion.
Yeah, let me see a car go through all this shit.
He made a lot of people angry. He was the king of the Jews, and for his word, he was persecuted by Rome, as were many Christians afterwards. So I just don't understand. Like, again, I need to know, like, what is it about the naked body that's wrong to see on a screen? I've seen it in real life. It didn't hurt me. It was cool, actually.
I want to see if I get extra points if I let them die with a quick hack.
What I'm talking about. Because people wear clothing for a reason.
Oh, they're kind of strong.
And here was, Hollywood
all right, let's go.
transgressing those behaviors, and everyone is outraged. and the
What
government
reason?
is not going to get involved. And so at this
I wonder if I
point,
can
the Catholic
explode
Church
them
got
with
involved.
the
Okay,
with the
and Catholic
monowire
Church created an
when I have
institution called
them
the Legion of Decency. The Legion of
hit with the
Decency organized
contagion.
a boycott of Hollywood
Any
films,
enemies around here? Ooh,
in Philadelphia.
ton of them.
and,
Get inside the
Warner Brothers
hospital, no
ended
fucking
up
problem.
losing $100,000 a week in the depths of the Depression at a time when they had gone into serious debt because they had to get into talking pictures and they had to buy that technology.
Well, the porn industry is clearly doing pretty well now, so obviously there's been a bit of a bounce back. I just don't understand
Bounce.
because you have to know, unless you don't know at all. Like,
little bit
why is it
more
wrong
than
to have
whatever.
nudity on a screen?
I need strength
if you
for
can
that,
see
fuck.
it in real life and it's fine in real life, what about seeing it on a screen makes it less fine? What is the categorical difference?
Fuck.
The categorical difference is that it's a film that is being produced for profit, exploiting people's weaknesses.
What about
That's-
amateur porn? Like just two people, like a boyfriend and a girlfriend. They're both 25. They just film something.
What the fuck are
put it
you
out
doing
there.
in there?
What about that?
Yes, that's also transgressive, and it's a type of manipulation that could only exist if it were tolerated.
God damn, they're tracing my
by
location.
the
Hold on.
authorities, who are running the internet.
Who's being manipulated?
All of the people in this country
Oh,
are being
porno.
manipulated
That's all they have.
by this use of pornography, whether they like it or not.
How? It's
Whether they
just
like it or not.
It's just
Okay.
there. You go online
No,
and you're
it's-
like,
it's not
I
just
want to
there.
see people have sex, and then you
It's
type
not just there.
into Google.
It's not just there. It's not just there. There are people who actually imitate what they see,
having
and that's
sex.
one aspect of this. So if someone gets fired up by pornography and he goes out and rapes someone, there's a victim because he was allowed to view images that are just will influence his behavior.
But rape rates were higher before
all
porn.
of these instances, all of these instances influence behavior
But
one way or the other.
rape was
The
more
question
common before
the question is
pornography.
The question,
One sec, Rosh.
the question is what type of manipulation of human passion is the government going to allow? That is the big question, because nothing ever happens without government approval. And that's precisely the crisis that they reached in the 1930s, and the Catholic Church
He just gave up.
and basically made
Damn.
a deal with Hollywood. Okay? If you continue to do this, okay, we will then
Both of you,
expand
double
this
infection.
boycott to every major city in the country, all of which have large Catholic
I don't
populations.
understand what this history.
And
He's just
we're-
gonna sit there and die. He's gonna take it.
You just keep talking about I won. Porn is legal and it's everywhere. So let's talk about the morality. I don't know why we're talking about in the 1930s people were afraid of bare ankles. Also, rape
doing,
was
ma'am?
way more common back in the Middle Ages and
Oh,
stuff
yeah.
before pornography was prevalent. So it seems like if anything, it could be
Where
because.
Yep,
does-
I
you're
expected
making-
that.
You're making statements that have no basis.
I'm sorry, I don't
in
want to talk.
reality.
Shut the
Wait,
fuck up.
do you think
Okay, a
rape is more
statement like
common
that-
now than
what are the
1496 grams?
statistics? What are the statistics? This is ridiculous. The statistics of rape in the Middle Ages. They don't have any statistics about rape in the Middle Ages.
Yeah, we
so
do.
it's a preposterous claim.
We also have ones from the
I'm
early
coming
20th
in.
century before pornography was widely accessible. I mean, it's really internet pornography that we're mostly, because that's when it really popped off, right? And you can actually see, if you just want to look at modern research, rates of rape have generally gone down, even as porn consumption has skyrocketed. So I don't think there's an association.
Oh, I could have went through here. I'm dumb.
How can I argue with
Luke,
modern
give me.
research? How
Well,
can I argue?
if the
I'm trying
evidence
to
disagrees
I'm
with you,
trying-
you can't pretend it's the
Okay,
opposite.
just to be sure there's not too much interrupting, we might have to go into the 3-minute segments that we've done in the past, just to be sure.
Oh, it's
People do want
fun
to
though.
hear-
Okay, I'll let him go for it.
At this
Go ahead, Dr.
point,
Moser.
at this point, Hollywood agreed to something called the Production Code, which banned nudity, banned ridicule of the clergy, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, the Catholics brought Hollywood under control.
I can tag him through the wall.
These-
Nice.
The guy who was involved in this was
Anybody
named, Joe
upstairs?
Green. He said, people like this,
Who's that over there on the
meaning
side?
the Jews in Hollywood, should not have total control over what people see
I'll
on
stay in
the
here.
screens. And he was right. We have a similar situation now with the new technology of our era, namely the internet, which is it's a utility. These people didn't create it, but there are people who are simply banning anyone that they disagree with because they own it. It's very similar to what was happening in Hollywood at this
Who's
time.
getting banned?
Many people are getting banned
on
the internet. This is really sophomore. You know.
Wait, that's not sophomore.
This
That's
really,
a very clear. Wait, hold on. Wait,
Yeah.
really quickly, because I'll let you go. Being banned for being anti-Semitic has nothing to do with the porn industry, okay? Twitter has a TOS. That's not my fault. That's not the Jews' fault.
Just hide in the closet?
Look, if we're talking about the morality of pornography, maybe it's your brain that's been darkened, and if you saw a few more pairs of tits, you would be able to understand and answer the same question. How is it harmful?
He's still blinking. What the fuck?
On a screen.
My bad, bro.
Because this is literally like the topic of the discussion. I need to know. So you say that people can imitate behavior they see in porn. So when I look at porn, you've got me. I see people having sex, and I have had sex. So you've got me on that one. I think people were doing that before porn. In terms of like violent sexual behavior, like rates have gone down. We have a chart up right now. I mean, you don't care because I imagine if the evidence disagrees with you, it'll be from them. But rape rates have not increased with porn. So just where is the harm? Like how? Because you do need to convince me. Even on the no-fap forums, they're telling themselves stories about how.
What is no-fap for? What were they involved in? What were these guys involved in when they're watching pornography?
Jerking off, I imagine.
And that's immoral.
How is jerking off immoral?
Jerked off this morning.
Any sense of what morality is?
If you did, then you would be able to answer me.
I will answer you, okay? There's human sexuality is something that the human being has to regulate according to reason, okay? He's not like a salmon where electrical chemical reactions go off and he turns around and swims upstream. He has to subject human sexuality to reason, to rationality.
What reason?
Okay.
Well, the rationality is I want to jerk off, and then you jerk off. I think that's perfectly in line with the mechanisms, the faculties of reason given to me by God.
I know you do. I know you do, and that's why I say your mind is darkened. Of course you do.
What, isn't that rational?
Of course you do. No, it's not rational.
Give the
It's
rational
irrational.
argument for the. Well, give the rational argument for the opposite. Why shouldn't I jerk off?
Okay, because human sexuality
Get over here.
has an end. You probably don't know this, but it actually leads to procreation, to the creation of other human beings.
I can come
And
multiple times. It does. I'm not like done after one. Like
Bro.
next week, if I'm with like a girl, I'll still be able to. I'm not in any way impeding the process.
No, you are impeding the process because you're acting in a way that is contrary
Come
to
on,
the
I'll catch you.
rationality of the sexual act. Sexual act is geared
Come on.
toward procreation. The sexual act is geared toward
There we go.
interaction with the opposite sex toward procreation. Okay,
Why?
if procreation takes place, a child comes out of that union, and that child needs to be taken care of. So this has the rationality of the sexual act. First of
Run
all,
across the freeway.
explains
Don't
what
look.
its goal is.
Don't
namely
look.
The unity of
You're
man
good.
and
You're good.
woman leading to procreation.
Why is
and
that the
then
goal?
She's fucking losing her mind out there.
And then
What if I
after
just
that,
want to jerk off? Like you
I
keep
know you
saying
want- I know
things are
it's clear-
things
it's clear
because
that
they're
not
things.
only did you want to jerk off, but it's clear that that's
You know,
the way you see
if
sexuality.
you jerk off, you can come without making a baby, and babies are really expensive and time consuming. So like I feel like the ratio there, like you should like 100 jerk offs.
Just get the
to one
fuck in
baby.
the
Even
car.
that's I think too low. But like again, you keep saying like things are bad because they're bad. Why? What's wrong with? What if you just want to spend your whole life jerking off? What if a person's like, this is what I want?
You will frustrate the purpose of sexuality, and you're
What
doing
purpose?
what you're doing is exactly the trap that your generation fell into.
You know,
You're
humans
all-
weren't
you're
born
all
with clothes
sitting-
on them.
Just to be sure that there's no error, what I'm going to do is just to answer that question, we're going to give you 2 minutes to respond, Director Jones, and then we'll come back to you, Bosch, for 2 minutes as well. We're just going to
Yeah,
flip
look,
flop.
we're really going to have to stop this constant interruption, and so what I'm trying to say here is that the end of sexuality
Constant
is
interruption.
union
God.
with a member
Hate
of the
when other
opposite
people
sex,
talk.
leading to procreation. That's obvious from the act. That's what the act is. That's what the act does. You can pervert that act, okay? But then you're not acting rationally, and you're not going to end up with the end that the act has to achieve.
Yeah, if we're following through, the purpose
Thievery?
of hearing
Ooh.
is to listen to
Let's do
people
that.
near you. So
Always love a
headphones are
good
corruption
thievery
of that
gig.
rational process. Your skin clothes you, so wearing clothes is a corruption of
they-
that. Well, hold on, Mr. Jones. Is a corruption of that natural process. I have no doubt at your ripe old age that you've benefited from some manner of medical technology, which is again a corruption of human's natural process. See, if we want to do this, if we want to go back to natural processes, I would be the young, strong hunter-gatherer, and you would be dead because you're twice my age. We both rely on deviations from humans' natural role in the civilization. You don't even have to deviate. I'm pretty sure there are animals other than humans who masturbate. So I just need to know, like, why? You always refer to some nebulous purpose. I'm not religious, you know, though I seem to have read the Bible more than you. What harm is done if you jerk off? If anything, it helps you because it lowers your risk of prostate cancer, and if you nut somebody later, you have fresh sperm. So, I mean, aren't you, it's like clearing the gutters, right? I mean, it's just, where is the harm? I need to know.
Yes, I've said this at the very beginning. An entire generation has been sidelined by masturbation and pornography because they can't relate to the opposite sex, and they are not getting married, they are not forming families, and they are not having children. There's the harm. And by the way, ear sets help your hearing. They don't inhibit your hearing.
Jerking off helps my dick. And your prostate. That's medical science, by the way. People have been getting less prostate cancer lately because masturbation is getting more common. Probably because of porn. So, if anything, we're saving lives, really.
And in the process, an entire generation simply is not forming families. They are not moving into the future.
They're alive.
They're living in their mother's basement, weighed down with a vicious habit that people like you enable by promoting pornography.
I think the problem with what you're describing right now is mostly economic alienation that could be addressed with Marxist economic theories. Alienation from work, income inequality. Don't get me wrong, I agree that we have a problem with people having a difficult time getting their start in life, but I think that has way more to do with a flatlining median wage, low unionization, difficult job opportunities, student debt. I don't think it has anything to do with masturbation. Don't get me wrong, there are people who have like an unhealthy fixation on porn, but that's the case with literally everything in existence, right? I mean, if you ban something because some people have a toxic relationship with it, you would ban effectively everything. Basically everything. I mean, there's got to be, you know, people with unhealthy relationships, just about every modern commodity and service. But we can do better than that, right? Like, we don't have to essentialize these problems. If you want to fix the issues of people not going out there and making families or whatever,
what are you doing inside the car? What the fuck?
Like, looking at porn is telling
I was
people
looking
how to do
for
it,
you.
right? You know? Goes in the right hole.
It's telling you how not to do it. It leads to isolation. And the other thing that I've already talked about in other venues is
don't poke your head out.
It's debt. That's the other problem that is facing your generation. They are loaded down with student loan debt. That, combined with addiction to pornography, has produced a absolutely toxic situation in which they cannot form families, and that is the harm that
So we should
results.
address capitalism, right?
I do address capitalism. I wrote a book called Barren Metal, A History of Capitalism as the Conflict Between Labor and Usury. But I thought we were talking about
It always
pornography
comes back to
tonight.
the Jews with you, doesn't it? Mate, Jews didn't invent capitalism, okay? Modern day laissez-faire capitalism was a product of a number of post-Enlightenment philosophies that developed during the turn of the 18th century. This is not, listen, if your issues with Jews, you can just say Jews, all right? You don't have to go like modern worker versus usury, like, come on. Interest rates right now.
Who the fuck are you shooting at?
But that's
Fucking
hardly
dumbass.
the nature of the beast. In fact, you could have like essentially.
I think I already raided this whole place
20
before
years,
already.
We've had a historically low.
Let's go see
federal
those
interest
robots.
rates on loans, and it still hasn't fixed the problem. If anything, the problem's gotten worse over that time. Usury isn't the issue here. Income inequality is. So to fixate on the usury, I mean, you might as well be talking about like happy merchants around every street corner offering people $5 if they sell their souls to them. I mean, you know, we're talking about a very edge case, dishonest framing of modern economic problems.
If you want to have a debate about usury, I'll be happy to come on and debate that too.
I'm coming.
As I said,
I'm in
I wrote
here.
a book about the conflict between labor and usury, and usury has a big role to play in creating a whole generation that are unable to start families. But we're talking
You better
about
hurry
the
up.
pornography
Oh, now I
aspect
know
of
where to
it,
go.
which is also a very serious problem, which leads to isolation.
Here we go. Didn't
and
catch
an
this door.
inability to
Thank you.
form lasting,
Show me the
fertile
secrets.
relationships with members of the opposite
Oh,
sex.
pretty.
You don't
Up.
run out of sperm, you know. Like, it keeps...
Data mine.
I feel as if I'm giving you, like, did you ever have sex ed as a kid? I feel as if I'm, now, the fertility can only take place, you can only have fertilized the egg if the sperm makes contact with the female.
But
Okay?
if you
The male has to
masturbate, you
make
can still do
contact with
that.
the female.
You can still do that. It's not one or the other. You can do both. Write one after another if you want to. I mean, I'm young and strapping. I mean, eventually that'll go. But...
Masturbation leads to isolation. The people who get engaged in this cannot relate.
He wants to
effectively
masturbate
members
you.
of the opposite sex.
Don't do
They
it
can't.
yourself. That's too
Because
lonely.
masturbation
Get someone else to
isolates
jerk
in
you
a
off.
world of fantasy.
What if you masturbate with another person? Like when you're in a room together?
It's still masturbation.
Well, if you're okay, if you're masturbating with a chick, like in the same room, you're probably gonna have sex later, right? Like, I feel like that's a bonding experience. That probably makes it more likely you're gonna have.
Well, I'm not surprised that you
Whoa.
feel that way. But masturbation is still masturbation. It's not the same as sexual intercourse.
Well, but you would do that later. You could masturbate, then have sex later.
Okay, but we're still saying they're not the same thing. You're backing up what I'm saying by saying they're not the same thing.
They're not the same thing, but like, this is like saying, I'm trying to think of an analogy that highlights how dumb this is. I don't know if I can. It might be beyond me.
It may be.
It might be. You're right. So you can masturbate, and then like an hour later.
Find the garage
have sex.
Josie mentioned.
Like I don't think doing one of them prevents you from doing the other one.
So but you do agree that they're two different things.
Well, yeah, but I don't think
Okay.
the first
All right,
hurts the latter.
That's a great breakthrough. That we can agree on something like that. Okay, and I'm saying that they have completely different effects on the human psyche. The one leads to communion, the other leads to isolation. And the more you engage in masturbation, now how does this work? Yeah, I knew you were going to say that. It goes. We've done experiments with rat brains, okay? And now this is ridiculous. What do you mean? How does it work? It works because
I didn't actually say that.
Because the human mind is, because the human psyche is what it is. That's why it works that way.
Okay.
So
wait.
I don't have to come up with an explanation of how it works, whatever that means. It's an empirical fact that it does work.
Where
that
can
way.
I find the empiricism of that fact? If I
Go
were to
back
look
to
for
NoFap November. Go back to NoFap November.
I mean data.
That was empirical. That was empirical proof that people were unhappy with this whole regimen of pornography and
But
masturbation.
I did NoFap
which
November.
had, which had been imposed on them.
But I did NoFap November. I just did it to shoot big ropes at the end. I didn't do it because I have a moral opposition to masturbation. It's just a challenge. I don't think that...
This isn't about you. I know that comes
Well,
as a shock.
so, yeah,
but
this doesn't...
This isn't about you. You cannot constantly reduce what I'm saying to your particular circumstances. You can't do it.
Okay.
And if you try, first of all, this is a kind of narcissism on your part that everything has to be about you. But secondly, what you're really saying is you can't understand what I'm saying. I understand that.
So you're right. I'm not following. So it's 10 p.m. I have free time before I go to sleep. I have an hour of free time. I can either play online video games, or I can masturbate. How is the latter option more isolating than the former option?
First of all, they are both isolating. They are both isolating, but masturbation to pornography is even more isolating than
How
just
so?
playing video games. How so?
Why?
Because it affects you in a way that internally, spiritually, morally, in a way that video games don't.
How? Like what? Like how? Like you're just saying that? Like how? In what way?
Have you ever heard of guilt?
I've
Guilt?
heard of the concept.
But you think it's a bogus concept?
It's a thing I think most higher animals are capable of experiencing. So I don't think it's.
Do you
I don't
think
it's
people?
bogus.
Do you think people experience guilt after they masturbate?
Sometimes. I think that guys sometimes do. Girls don't
Okay.
often, I think.
Okay. Then why? Then you explain to me why that happens.
Because after the endorphin rush of orgasm, there's usually a come down from that feeling. But that's also the case during sex, not just during masturbation. Like I've certainly had times where having sex.
Why don't you feel sex? Why don't you feel guilt after you have normal sex? Let's say a man, a husband and wife. Why don't they feel guilt?
Well,
it's the same endorphin rush. Right?
I just said they can though, and also I've never felt guilt after coming because I'm very proud of myself. Wait, some do. The feeling you're describing, the post-orgasm come down, that's just a product of an endorphin imbalance. You have a height of it during the orgasm, and then wait. This is literally wait. Come on. Unless you've never come, like I'm right on this. After the orgasm, there's a come down from that period.
You're ignoring what we just said. There is no guilt experienced in normal sexual intercourse.
No,
it doesn't exist.
I'm sure some people do feel
doesn't
that
exist. Well, you're sure, huh?
Do you have any evidence that it doesn't?
I have evidence that no one who engages in normal sexual activity, married people, they don't feel guilty when they do it.
You have that evidence? That's incredible. How do you have that evidence?
Because
do you
I live
like
in
a
this
Pew
world.
data? Well, oh wait, do you have like a study, or is it in your head? It's like
I'll give you a chance to respond, Dr. Jones, but I
your
do
mind
want
evidence.
to mention that we got maybe about 2 minutes before we have to transition into the Q&A.
Do we get closing statements before Q&A?
I'm open to changing it if you each want.
I just
to have
want
a
1 minute.
closing statement.
Yeah, I just want 1 minute.
Dr. Jones, are you okay with that?
Sure.
You bet. So we'll 1 minute each, and let's see who we started. We started with Dr. Jones. Well, Bosch, you'll go first, and then we'll have Dr. Jones wrap up. Or no, it would be Dr. Jones going first, and then Bosch. We usually alternate. So
the garage is gonna
that 1
be
minute is all yours, Dr. Jones.
up here.
Thank you. This is this discussion would invariably end up in a position where as soon as you make a point, we move on to another type of discussion. The problem here is with the thing that we're discussing, but even with that,
Man, where the fuck is their
virtually
transporter bus?
impossible
Something.
to talk to someone who is irrational. That is the problem. So if you're talking about masturbation with someone who is basically bragging about how much he masturbates, you're talking to someone whose mind is darkened and can't understand rational arguments, and covers over the fact by saying how and why, as if there's some type of ultimate infinite regress that's going to answer, as if there's not some infinite regress that will simply thwart any type of discussion. That's the main problem that I've discovered when you talk about something like pornography.
Time. Thank you very much, Dr. Jones, for that closing. And Bosch, 1 minute as well. The floor is all yours.
I guess it's just reaffirming to see that these are the kinds of arguments that you get for a topic like this, you know. Why is something bad? Because it's wrong. Why is it wrong? You know why it's wrong. No, I don't. Why? Because you know it's wrong. Because it's like, porn can cause rape. Well, the data shows rape is far less common now than it used to be. Well, that's what the data shows. But, like, you know, it's like, you want the world to be the way you want it to be. Like, the world is how you want it to be, Ruth Jones. You're locked in your mind. So, I don't think anything's going to change your mind. I guess it's just funny to, like, chip away at the rock that's inside your skull. It is pretty interesting, though. I have to imagine that
fucking asshole.
Tilting at windmills has left you very personally unhappy. I don't know if, like, not nutting means the cum is pulled up to your brain and it's just sort of souping up there, but I would strongly suggest you reconsider your priors, because the direction you're taking right now is
Find the garage
not
Josie
phenomenal.
mentioned. This
and-
is it,
and it's quite though.
ain't it?
We're going to jump into Q&A, folks. Want to let you know each of our guests are linked in the description. And for your questions, I've also got to give you a heads up. We have a short 40-minute Q&A. And so as of right now, if you send in any question, I can't guarantee that we're going to read it. So just a heads up, we're going to try to move fast, but we may not get to all of them. The Crawdaddy 029, thanks for your super chat, said, wanted to ask why the Bible was brought up during the opening statement in terms of this topic. I think they're
because it provides a paradigm that transcends the current orthodoxy that establishes that or that claims that pornography is equivalent to freedom. It shows the exact opposite, that sexual liberation leads to bondage. That's why I brought it up.
Gotcha. And then some of these are statements as well, Vosh. This was Anomic who says, Vosh thinks that being a slave to your desire is freedom. This is your brain on porn.
Yeah, I'll just say, if the existence of porn makes you a slave, then that's a symptom of your weakness and nothing else, you know? That, like, our world is full of all sorts of things that people use and abuse, and if you fall victim to them, I really think that says more about you, you know? Like you're basically, like, you're falling to, like, the roadside, like, licking spilled Mountain Dew off of a park bench, and then you look up at me and you're like, you want to keep this legal, you want to be a slave, and then you go back to licking up the Mountain Dew. Like, it's on you, man. Stop doing that.
This one coming in from Brewmaster Monk, and want to let you know, folks, we definitely want quality questions. So if it's just an insult at either speaker, we're not going to read it. We're looking for quality questions in the live chat. Brewmaster Monk says, porn has never encouraged me to act virtuously and has severely damaged my ability to interact with women. It's a negative influence in our society. Wash?
Well, I would, in the words of the immortal Jones, I would say, don't make this all about yourself. If you have a negative relationship with pornography, then I think there are plenty of things you can do to make your life better, and I think that you should. It's entirely possible for pornography to have a negative influence on you. You should work to better your life. But I don't think that's a good argument for, like, a wholesale abolition of the First Amendment. I think you need a stronger one than that.
This one coming in from Made by Jim Bob says, porn is harmful because it chemically rewards the brain to interact with illusions. That's the difference. Bosch?
The same with literally all forms of media. Books give you the same endorphin rewards when you sympathize with characters who have never existed outside the page. Movies will do the same thing. All of these things. People, usually moral conservatives, have long tried to fantasize about some imagined boundary that makes nudity in particular that special, extra secret kind of media that hurts you. It's just not true. It is not supported by any available evidence, but I know evidence is what you're going for here. It's just not true, okay? If you see more naked bodies in person, you'll stop freaking out about them online as much.
This one coming in, I think this is for you, Dr. Jones, and whether or not you actually endorse censorship, I don't know, so you can let us know, but they say porn and censorship of porn can both be bad, just like hate speech or cigarettes. Prohibition is bad, and the thing itself is also bad. Why can't both be true, Dr. Jones?
Why can't both be true? Namely, that porn is bad and censorship is bad?
I think that's exactly what they're saying, yes.
So the more porn we have, the less censorship, right? Well, it turns out the exact opposite happened. As soon as we had porn, we had rampant censorship on every imaginable topic under the sun. So it led to the exact opposite outcome of what we expected, what we were told to expect. So, back to the
what
First
stupid
Amendment.
fucking
It's got
pussies
nothing
on
to do
Twitter,
with the
man.
First Amendment.
All you do is
Obscenity was
ask
never covered by
the
First
devs
Amendment.
for shit
It should not
or
be covered by the First
try and
Amendment.
have any
If you
kind of
allow
productive
obscenity,
conversation.
people destroy
Motherfuckers
the
come
First
out. Oh, the
Amendment,
game is
and
good.
that's
Game is
precisely what
perfect.
we have seen with
You're
this
complaining. You're just
proliferation
bitching.
of
Suck my dick.
censorship on the
Fucking
internet for things
pussies.
that should be allowed
Alright,
to
find the
be
garage
discussed.
Josie mentioned. I'm here, Josie. What the fuck are you talking about, bro? Where's the code? Maybe it's a code I missed.
Forefathers from loving kids, or torn from loving kids, by live fast judges, play in making dad into a porn viewer. Let me read that again because it is a mouthful. They say,
Oh, the code.
Tyrannical family courts play enforcing
0214.
kids by live fast judges.
I think the quest is bugged. I don't have it.
Dad into a porn viewer.
I think that one's for me.
Yeah.
We'll both go, I guess.
Access
I'm
granted.
assuming
Do
the
I
person
get
who
quest
typed that out
completed?
Has trouble dressing themselves in the morning. So
Any
this is
notes
just kind
or
of generally
anything?
to the audience. Right now, family courts don't actually seem to have a bias against fathers, which was the case
Alright,
historically.
find the garage
The main
Josie
reason
mentioned.
for that historical bias was because of the patriarchal
I got the
notion
bike,
that women
bitch.
are better at child rearing.
The
Now,
quest is not
the
done?
reason why
Alright,
women
whatever.
get kids after divorces is
This thing
actually
looks
because the men
nice.
don't want them. There is a bias in the statistics.
Can't do
but it
wheelies though.
goes
It
to the
fucking
bias in
sucks.
Relative parentage's interests. So I think that right now the family courts are not at a perfect place, but I don't know what that has to do with the porn thing. But
Tiger Claw's bike. It's fast. Good acceleration. Let's see how it can hit 200.
The feminism, the bias.
It's gonna have trouble hitting 160. Still not as good as the Cyclone. Good motorcycle though.
Get rid of the family structure that allows men to protect their own children.
Where's that garage again?
You got it. This one coming in from Do Appreciate It. Anomic says, orgasm is the reward for successful mating. Can Bosch think of any reason why tricking his body into thinking he has mated every time he looks at a picture of a person could have negative consequences?
Eating meat used to be the reward for a successful hunt, and now this guy gets to drive his Walmart mobility scooter over to the freezer section and get, you know, more meat in one purchase than a hunter-gatherer could have gotten in a month. It is a ridiculous argument. You know, reality has moved forward. You know, it's the future, old man. Okay.
Let me see if there's.
If you want to argue that desensitization is an issue, sure, but again, that can happen with virtually anything. It's just not an issue specific to porn. I sincerely think the reason people project their issues onto porn so much on the matter of desensitization is because, well, it's from people who don't have the best sex lives, to be honest with you. It's supplemental. There are ways to deal with that, but lashing out against degeneracy is not going to help you.
This one coming in, do appreciate it. Mark Reed says, Dr. Jones, you mentioned, quote, people running the internet, unquote. Since the net is distributed systems, who do you imagine these people to be that are running the internet?
I was referring to platforms like Google, not specifically to the internet, but platforms like Google and Twitter and all these other platforms that basically are operating according to a system that allows pornography, but will not allow discussions of alternative medicine for COVID, stuff like that. That is a perversion of the what should be a utility for the spread of information. And I'm saying that the allowing pornography has allowed these people to make even more serious inroads into things that should not be censored.
This one coming in from Sunflower says the answer to the disingenuous and bad faith question, quote, what makes porn and non-porn different?
Alright, whatever. Fuck that quest, I guess. Find a garage Josie mentioned.
That's for you, Bosch.
Let's see if the bike appears.
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously have to be
in my car list.
Point when the internet is open to everyone. I know I wasn't 18 when I looked at porn.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Why we don't allow
Scorpions,
young people
Apollo,
to porn is because there were a lot of
Azari, Itsumari. Oh, that is the bike.
Physiological, ethical, everything specific to the act of sex that we think generally should be kept from children, and I think that's good and agreeable.
Yeah, that's it.
The issue is that also applies to alcohol, and alcohol has caused far more death and destruction.
Open stash? The fuck?
But for some reason, these abolitionist types never suddenly have an issue with.
I can open my.
It's with pornography.
What?
If you want to talk about things that should be kept to people 18 or over, like I don't think that unique category.
Well, the stash and the wheel, of course.
That is.
I put my good guns in there.
A categorical distinction for an adult.
Put
has
the
to be
plan
made.
B.
As an adult man, I'm nearly 28 now.
Put the 05.
You're looking at two things: a movie where people have their tits out, and a movie
Nekomata.
where people don't. Nowadays, a lot of movies
Divided
people will
we
be making it's not
stand.
even porn. You know, the lines getting blurred a bit. Like, what is the issue? And I don't know. I don't know what the issue is.
This one coming in from Researcher says, Dr. Jones, you had brought up the Jewish people in
My
this
check.
debate, and will you disavow any sort of anti-Semitism?
Yes, I'm against anti-Semitism. The problem is that the term never gets defined, and it becomes used to shut down all sorts of arguments, but in particular, it's used to shut down.
Ooh,
any
death and
criticism
taxes.
of
I gotta put
Jewish
that back.
behavior.
Let's see. This one coming in from Mark Nannerman says, thoughts on St. Augustine's quote cited by St. Thomas in the Summa. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Say, quote, if you do away with harlots, the world will be convulsed with lust. I think that's for you, Dr. Jones, I'm guessing. Not sure.
Yes, yes. This is an argument that leads to regulation of prostitution. we're really not talking about the same thing because we're not talking about the promotion of prostitution.
All my equipped shit is at the bottom, right? Okay, yeah.
What you have with the internet pornography is the promotion of deviant sexual behavior, which is different in this regard. Now, as to whether toleration is the best attitude toward prostitution, you know,
hold on, I think I got some nice clothes here.
Germany has a very lenient
got a little bit of
attitude toward prostitution, and the result is that men get addicted to prostitutes. So I don't think that's the solution. I don't think that's the solution.
Gavin Lockhart says, Bosch, rates of rape have not gone down. What study are you drawing from?
Yeah, sure. Chat linked it just a little bit earlier. I can find it again now. They absolutely have gone down. So we do have primitive data going back a few centuries. They didn't have modern sociological analysis back then, but we did have ways of pulling together pieces of data from various disparate sources. We have similar things for murder rates.
I like those. I like those. Got some new shades.
In the Middle Ages. That's. I think. I feel.
Kind of
like
feeling a change in pants too. See what we got.
Not,
maybe get some cargos. That's pretty good. Pretty good.
Significantly, since the
too tight.
Since the 1990s as well. Let me see if I can find that same. Oh yeah, here we go.
Nope.
So as the Bureau of Justice Statistics, I flashed this on screen. I don't know if people in modern day debate can see, but even just looking since 1973, which was of course before internet porn, we've seen a 5-fold reduction in rapes per 1,000 people. With 2.5 per 1,000 back in 1973 to 0.5 out of 1,000 in 2000.
Have any red shoes?
By which point internet porn certainly existed. So yeah, I just don't think there's a correlation here. If anything, there might be an inverse correlation. There are countries, I think, in like the post-Soviet Union that have, or you can see when internet porn becomes accessible, you know, then rates of rape go down. There's a lot of really complicated potential psychological and sociological stuff there, but I don't think it makes rape happen more often.
That looks kind of good.
This one coming in from Ali Mario.
Shoes are a bit too bright red though.
If the purpose of sex is to procreate, does that mean rape should be fine based on your reasoning, since it can lead to the result of the woman getting pregnant?
Wow.
The procreation takes place within marriage. I've already said that.
I'll keep Johnny's shoes. These shits are nice.
Pregnancy can result, and you have a duty if you sire a child. You have a duty to
Stash.
take care of that child, and that's why it should take place within marriage. So no, rape is not an example of what I'm talking about.
This one coming in from Rum Runner says, Dr. Jones, you're against pornography, want your religious beliefs to be law, and are against usury. Do you realize that you have the same ideology as ISIS, and if not, what is the difference?
I'm not against pornography because of some type of religious belief. I'm against it because it's irrational. Because it leads to control, it leads to the destruction of the social order, and all of those things have been proven now empirically. We know what it leads to. Back in the 60s, when people were talking about it as something new, everyone had to accept that as an act of a principle or an article of faith. Now it's empirically been shown that it is completely destructive to the social order. And so if ISIS agrees with me, fine, that's great. Anyone who agrees with me, I'm happy to be agreed with.
Only that empiricism could be demonstrated.
This one coming in from Bezos.
Wait a minute, just to bring that up, every time it does get demonstrated, you simply reject it. So the guy comes in, gives his personal testimony, you dismiss that as not existent.
Personal testimony is not evidence of civilizational corruption. You need strong sociological data with regressive control analysis, which I brought to you with rape rates and you dismissed. So if anyone, the person ignoring reality here is you.
I'll give it to you the last word, Dr. Jones, because the question was originally for you, and then we got to move to the next one.
Is there another question for me?
If you want to respond to Bosch, but you don't have to if you don't want to.
No, I'm not ignoring reality. You're ignoring reality. You're using these so-called studies as a way of denying the fact that these people are telling you what happened to them and what happened to them in their lives. You're using that to deny reality. All of those people got together during November, there was a widespread rejection of pornography and masturbation that went along with it, and you simply sweep that away. That didn't exist. You're saying it doesn't exist. You're the one who's denying reality. Every time you make a claim, you're denying reality.
This one coming in from Bezos' anti-bullying agency says, I think this is for you, Vosh. I think it's meant to be a challenge in terms of, I don't know if it's true. They say, funny enough, Israel uses porn as a weapon against their enemies. I'm not sure if this is supposed to, who this is for, actually. If each of you want to respond, you can.
So, the use of pornographic material in military and like national security purposes is something that has been used by a number of countries. It's most commonly tied, at least in recent history, to Islamophobia, because Muslims are perceived to be more socially conservative about pornography than Israelis or Westerners, which is generally true if you're in the Middle East. Pornography is used as a way of sort of incurring humiliation. But the general trend of that behavior, which is, promoting things the enemy will find obscene to demoralize or upset them, is something that goes back literally thousands of years. There were people in sieges that were catapulting, cow shit over palisades and castle walls. There have been, people who made their standard coat of arms the opposition's coat of arms with a tear through it, or with like a peasant farting into a trumpet on top. Like the fundamental idea here is very, very old.
Let me in.
It's only
Let me in.
modern like speaker technology that using pornography, which has been reported, is even technologically possible. So.
You got it. And then, Dr. Jones, unless you.
Oh, you're so lucky I can't get in there.
That, at least in terms of Israel using.
Well, you do. So you do agree that it's used as a weapon.
Thanks.
Okay, so that was my point. It is a weapon, and a weapon does not bring about freedom. A weapon is between enemies, not
Garage
between
door open.
friends.
I can use anything as a weapon.
And secondly, to talk about cow shit and pornography in the same breath is preposterous. It's preposterous. You're grasping at straws.
You
Preposterous. That's a big word.
To offend others, and because you have a lot in common with religious extremists in the Middle East.
I'm not gonna kill you.
And them both
Calm
get offended
down.
by pornography. This would be a very ineffective weapon against me. If I heard pornography blaring on a speaker, I would only think that I had yanked out my headphones. I would not, rage at the obscenity of Western infidels.
Yo! Holy shit!
Mario says, who was it that's introduced porn in Japan, and have you seen some of the stuff they make? It's far worse. So I think this is alluding to the idea that people have purposely introduced porn, whether it be in the United States or elsewhere. I think this is for you, Dr. Jones.
Yeah, the American occupation introduced pornography in Japan. The same thing they did to Germany. This was the regimen.
Damn, everybody's dead. Shit.
I'm more familiar with the situation in Germany because I lived there.
Johnny looks like one of your parties.
As soon as the
you should be proud.
Morgenthau plan to starve
find Flavia.
was replaced by the Marshall
We'll read
plan,
loot.
Germany was flooded with pornography.
So we can better know what Flavia is.
For the entire 1950s over obscenity laws in Germany.
Just to quickly clarify, so there are no historical inaccuracies.
She's gotta wait, I gotta loot.
Japan print pornography for centuries before the West ever opened their gates. They were so in demand in the West that Western aristocrats and wealthy patrons would pay lots of money to get those prints, for our entertainment. And the Weimar Republic, before World War II, was actually considered a socially progressive haven, particularly Berlin, where they did indeed have a thriving porn industry, though, of course, a thriving porn industry back in the 1920s would have been, like, compared to today, is like nothing, of course, because they didn't have internet video.
That's true, and the Weimar Republic led to Nazi Germany. Hitler rose to power. Basically by complaining about the decadence that had been spread throughout Germany during
Hurry
the
up, Flavio.
That was a reaction, and then they had the same reaction after Hitler was completely defeated. They had the same reaction. The German people reacted in exactly the same way when the United States started promoting pornography in conquered Germany.
I think in retrospect, the Germans find the Nazi thing more regrettable than the pornography.
Are you going right down the block?
Yeah,
right
I don't
here.
think Americans promoted pornography.
You're not even that far going to the burger shop.
After the war, it just happened because people like porn. Like
No,
you don't have
Here,
to
go.
promote it.
Nothing just happened. nothing just happened in Germany after war. In order to have a magazine, a book, a TV show, a movie, you had to get a license. You had a license from an official of the American government. So nothing just happened in Germany.
People printed pornography illicitly all the time for.
You're welcome, Flavia.
And what's more, if American officials allow for the production of pornography in West Germany, that's not the same as them promoting it. It's just the same allowance.
First of all, there is no evidence of what you just said. And secondly, it is exactly the situation that nothing got printed in
Oh, I don't want
Germany
that
without
fucking
the
bike.
permission of
Give
the
me
Americans.
my
And if they allowed it,
Caliburn.
it meant they promoted it.
Why shouldn't they have allowed it?
Here we are
Like,
back to
just to
square
wait,
one.
just to be clear, the only
Fuck
reason,
me.
the only reason the American government is relevant here at all is because their position on pornography is being contrasted with the Nazis. In the Weimar Republic, they did print pornography. So what you're telling me right now is that you would have sided with the Nazis, that you would have been in West Germany like a stodgy old fart, you know, with your arms crossed, going, you know, well, they may have killed 6 million Jews, but, you know, at least the Nazis had the right idea about not letting people draw pictures of boobs on pieces of paper. Like the only reason the Americans introduced it is because the prior government was the Nazi government. I mean, they introduced everything.
So you
after
admit
that.
they did introduce. So you admit that they did introduce
When I
it.
put up finger quotes when I said introduce, that meant that.
So you do until you're challenged, and then you don't.
No, finger quotes mean that I'm being sarcastic.
No,
I don't think.
No, you
if,
do until you're
if it was
challenged, and
around
then you
in the
don't.
Weimar Republic, then they didn't introduce it. They just allowed it after the Nazis did, which before the Nazis it was also allowed.
Forward. I hate to do this, but just
Sorry. Yeah.
JPG says, besides from sexualizing everything, are we ignoring the studied effects of porn on
Man, shut the
brain
fuck
damage?
up.
It's worse than most drugs out there. I'm an ex-addict.
No, you're lying. If you think that the effects of porn on the brain are in any way chemically comparable to the use of drug abuse,
What up,
no,
man?
You're making that up. Porn addiction.
Oh, I'm friends with these guys.
To,
Find Logan Garcia. What up, pussy? Where's Logan at?
Resistance to
Undertaker.
the same as
Is
interest
that
in
your
anything
name?
else. Haven't you seen a person burn themselves out playing video games?
Undertaker,
Haven't
yeah.
you seen a person like
Logan?
get
No,
really
you're not
obsessively
Logan.
fixated with some movie fandom and then slowly lose interest with time but not know how to replace it with something else? Haven't you seen people fall out with the sport? Like, this pattern of behavior
Logan?
is just
Worker.
a flaw in the human brain. We're just weak, you know? The Chad move here is to overcome that weakness with self-control and discipline, not by projecting your negative experiences onto the thing
Raptor.
that you had the bad relationship with.
This one coming in from All C says,
Logan?
"Since Vosh's
Undertaker.
Anglo brain only responds to previous
Logan's
data,
up
I
there.
recommend you search, quote, your brain on porn, unquote.
I think this is
You're
the same
familiar
thing.
with
I do find it funny that the
My
idea
bad,
that
bro.
I am,
What the fuck?
influenced by evidence is some kind of dig at me. I thought we were supposed to be preserving the light of Western civilization here, boys. You know, empiricism
Logan,
was an enlightenment.
what are you doing?
Yeah, I'm familiar with what you're looking at.
The fuck?
There's been a lot of research on quote-unquote porn addiction, and I'm saying quote-unquote there because, again, it really just seems to be the same as the kind of
Goddamn.
fixations people form on other things. There might be some additional socially cultivated downsides, probably stemming from the fact that when people watch porn and they have a negative relationship around it, they feel sad because they're not the ones actually, you know, fucking, as opposed to like getting addicted to movies or video games where they might not necessarily wish that they were the ones shooting Nazis in World War II. So I do. But yeah, that doesn't mean that it's the same like chemical addiction as like a drug, you know. And then again, like compared to the other downsides, like just abolishing the First Amendment, taking down all pornography and media, how would you enforce that? It's just an unimaginable amount of data, like all nudity, and you'd have to ban it and other things. You turn us into China. No, I reject it. I reject this Chinese bullshit.
From State says, Dr. Jones,
Chinese bullshit.
force them to interact like that. Masturbation helps you, though, get into meaningful, thoughtful relationships. Says Dr. Jones, if you'd like to respond.
Yeah, that's
Holy
preposterous.
shit.
You're flying in the face of reality. as Vosh does all the time here. They're simply not talking about the
Neutralize
reality of
Logan
masturbation, which
Garcia.
leads
Where
to
the fuck is
isolation.
he?
It doesn't lead to
Logan, where you
communion
at,
with the
pussy?
opposite sex. The whole point of a successful
Where
life
is he?
is making some type of connection with the opposite sex. Getting married,
Did I already
starting a
kill him
family,
before?
having children. Pornography and masturbation
Because I came in here and I killed everybody. Are you dead,
Wait,
Logan?
Can I ask one quick question?
Logan?
Of Dr. Jones.
Everyone here is dismembered.
I'm
Logan
gonna do
can't
it.
be alive.
I do want to
It's
move on.
impossible.
To be fair, Dr. Jones did say he wanted to do a lot of questions to get the audience involved. So I do want to jump.
All right.
Logan?
You've overridden me, James.
No.
That's what I like about you.
This one coming in from Mr. Monster says, Dr. Jones, but do you think it's healthy to repress natural feelings and thoughts if you're going to disown masturbation and pornography?
You're not
Logan?
natural feelings, you're repressing unnatural feelings and channeling them to
Where are you at?
a goal that will lead to a happy outcome in life.
Where the fuck is he? God damn, man. This game is so fucking bugged. The quests, too. The quests are bugged. God damn it. I fucking hate when quests are bugged.
People in this generation have
Fuck.
failed to start families. They failed to embark upon life for two main reasons. It's pornography and student loan debt. I'm proposing a way out of that, which does involve, by the way, self-control. Yeah.
And these quests, these bugs have been here since release. Holy fucking shit. Do they ever pay attention to the community?
Exist is outright dangerous and harmful to young society. Bosh.
Holy shit.
I'm terribly sorry. Could you repeat that question for me?
There's still so many
They said
quest
acting like
bugs.
porn desensitization doesn't exist is outright dangerous and harmful to young society.
I think I've acknowledged that it exists plenty of times, both in the Q&A and in the conversation beforehand. I just don't think that it's a uniquely harmful force outside of the desensitization that we experience with plenty of other things. Yeah, the problem at the end of the day is we're so obsessed with narratives. This is really the conservative desire to resolve any urge to feel responsible for your own personal failings. Have some self-control, okay? If you have a negative relationship with pornography, you know, stand up, learn to stop consuming it, work to better your own life. But instead, because you can't admit your personal weakness, you have to go on this gigantic tirade.
Oh
about
my
how society
God.
is destroying you, or the Jews are destroying the West. No, it's you. You're doing this. You're having it done to yourself, you know? And if there are issues, you know, and you can find them across the board, tons of different mediums, not just pornography, but if there are issues, that's your responsibility to take care of it. I've had issues with, like, video game addiction, kind of, and I pulled back on that, you know? It's a process of will. Humans are fallible. It's just a matter of working towards self-betterment, a constant, unceasing process until you die. You'll never be free of it. And if they banned porn, you know goddamn well you'd be jerking off to every curvy piece of driftwood you saw at the beach, okay? So don't pretend like that would absolve
Maybe you would.
I would. If they banned porn, yeah, I would.
Man,
Yeah.
some fucking bullshit. So this is 2 quests in a row that I did are fucking bugged. This fucking game, man. I'm about to play No Man's Sky. This is some fucking bullshit. Holy, like, what else is bugged? Is the last turret even gonna be there? Is Pan Am gonna?
Should have age
The,
restrictions to prevent young
fuck,
children
man.
from using their services.
Well, you can't. The age restrictions are just you click the button saying you're 18 or over. I mean, that I don't think that does.
Fuck this.
I think they all already have that. But yeah, like I don't think 12-year-olds should be looking at porn. So, like in concept, yes. If you're a parent, you should install like content blockers on your computer. I don't know how well those work. Like if your kid's super tech savvy, they could probably get around it or whatever. But yeah, I think that's fine. Yeah.
This one coming in from Camille Chowie says, "Ask why."
I slaughtered everyone. Where's Garcia at? Yeah, Logan Garcia. This is him.
We'll give you Dr. Jones if you want to go first.
Neutralize Logan Garcia.
On the topic.
Because I think it's an important issue, and apparently there's still people out there willing to defend it, and they defend it. Or it's an important issue because most
This game
people don't
fucking
understand.
sucks, man.
As I said before,
Still
most people
so
see this as
broken.
an idea of freedom,
Oh.
and it's not to fail to see
I
the
spent
control
like the
mechanisms
last
that are behind
30
those
minutes doing
ideas,
these 2 quests.
behind the illusion
God
of freedom.
damn it,
So I think it's worth
man.
talking about.
Not 30 minutes, but
and then Bosch on whether or not you'll debate Fuentes.
Fuck
It's been
hell.
2 years. I've just said email me. This is just, listen, at the end of the day, like, what you want is he calls me like fat.
You're coming with
and
me.
I say virgin, and then we both hang up, okay? It's really boring, all right? At this point, this isn't even about your positions. It's literally just about, like, some inevitable chemical reaction you're looking for. This is like watching paint dry. It's been 2 years. Oh my god. Holy shit. Nothing has happened. Nothing ever will happen. Nobody's banned from everything, too. It's just boring now. Holy Christ.
This one coming in. Sorry, folks. I gotta warn you. Please don't send any more questions because with the limited time of Q&A, I don't think we'll be able to get to them. I just want to let you know that up front. This one coming in from Do Appreciate Your Question. John Carter said masturbation is objectively more evil than rape. It violates the natural law, which is more grave.
Car, get the fuck over here. God damn it.
I think that's intended for you, Bosch, if you want to respond.
Why is it that the greatest defenders of Western civilization are the people most incapable
Oh.
of applying the philosophical precepts it gave to us?
Gig for my
Like, you
son
guys think you
complete?
can just say
What?
anything? It's like, well, I think that
You're still coming
spinach
with
dip
me.
is the greatest evil since cable television. What are you talking about? It's not enough to just say words, you know. They have to be ordered in such a way as to convey information, and you have to back that information up.
Actually, the point here is it has to do with the sexual act, the logic of the sexual act. And rape is actual sexual intercourse, and so it would be less removed from nature than masturbation, which is
Can I put him in the...
and not as
All right,
far
let's get a
removed
car
as,
with a trunk.
Sodomy, which is a violation of
the Quartz has a
nature
trunk.
of the sexual act. I think that's where that guy's coming from.
You know what else is a violation?
Where's my
of the
good
natural
Quartz?
order? The concept of debate.
Does the Caliburn have a
Jones, you wanna
trunk?
just put them up sometime? We can go.
No,
box
this is what I
them.
have right now.
I can pulverize your
Alvarado.
skeleton. Like, what are you talking about?
Arrow Knight, the Guinevere. The
Like,
Guinevere's gotta
here's
have
the
a trunk,
natural
right?
order. You know that, like, back in the
It's gotta have a
good old
nice
days, we
big
would just
trunk.
hit each other with rocks, right?
Nice
and I guarantee
fat,
you I can
thick
lift a bigger
trunk.
one than you. This deference.
Please,
and it's always the
Guinevere, over
weakest
here.
people
Thank
who refer
you.
to it, by the way. The only reason that you weren't cast out from the tribe and left
Bro, would
by
you
the
come,
wolves,
please?
your degenerate anti-Semitism,
Guess
is
not.
because modern civilization coddles you like the infant that you are. The idea that you of all people would be relying on this, rape is more. No, rape isn't more anything than anything. Okay, shut the fuck up.
No trunk. What the fuck is this?
That's your comment on debate?
Got a bigger rock than you, Jones?
This one coming in from Jay Grimes says, Dr. Jones, what does your view of sexual liberation mean for LGBT rights?
Yeah, I'll use the Quartz. Get over here, Quartz. Where are you at?
Sexual liberation means liberation from sex as it is intended to be. The natural order of sex, which is basically between...
It doesn't have a trunk. What the fuck?
Homosexual activity.
God, nothing has a trunk.
Order. So why these people should have special rights?
What a
because
piece
they're
of
violating
shit.
the natural order is something that I can't explain.
Let's get this piece of fucking junk.
From Thanks Hate for your
My
support.
God, where is it?
Click like, everybody. Thanks for your support. And Silent Shout says, Bosch, if you're a Marxist, why are you defending...
I gotta have something better
oligarchs,
than this.
Student loans, debt, and women's sexual
Open.
exploitation
Alright.
through
Let's go.
pornography?
We're bringing his body with us.
Well, first of all, I only consume furry pornography drawn by poor college students, so I don't know what you mean by oligarchs. Exploitation of women, same point addressed. What are you talking about? You realize that from a Marxist perspective, every single industry is exploitative, right? Like, a Marxist would be the worst person to talk about with this. Like, you know, because, like, what
Oh,
what
dump
else? I eat
body?
food? Yeah, well, farming's exploitative. Like,
Oh, get in there.
That's the problem. We should address those problems. If you want to make it less exploitative for women in the
Alright,
porn
I'm
industry,
taking
there
him
are
back to my
reforms need
apartment.
move
It's
forward.
gonna be a long
Because,
ride.
and this is historically true. Legalizing prostitution and
Where's
pornography
my spot at?
do not
Where's my
stop women
place?
from being
Here it
abused
is.
in those industries.
God
Makes
damn,
things
that's
worse,
a
actually.
long ride.
There are ways to solve
3
these
kilometers.
problems. But don't pretend that you
We'll
care
do it.
about women's rights. Like, come on. Oh yeah, you want to ban porn because you're so concerned with women's rights. Come on. You could try that lib shit with me. You really think anyone here is going to buy that? Like, that's what you're concerned with.
This one from Giorgio says, Bosch said economics is the reason for current isolation. Dr. Jones has previously talked about...
Judy, what the fuck do you want? I'm transporting a body. Dealing with quest bugs over here.
Can he elaborate more on this?
Yeah, this is the default position. It's basically
Come over and make
Boss's
planned
position.
plans.
You know, he doesn't really understand.
Judy, I have dead body decor. I'm sorry, I can't play right now. No Jenga, no Monopoly tonight.
Period of the late 20th century. They realized
Artichoke and avocado flavor. Why is that a cool option? What? Is that what she likes?
Avocado flavor and zucchini for good measure.
Fancy. So, I'll see you come evening.
Yeah, I'll come in the evening. Alright.
Production,
that was weird. That was a weird dialogue option.
The freedom that you want for the working class, to a realization that that was never going to happen, and then a shift away from taking over the economic production to the culture, and then to sexuality. That's precisely the deal that Foucault did with the ruling class. He did it at Berkeley. He was a teacher at Berkeley. He had an epiphany, and basically what happened is that he came up with shifting liberation away from economic liberation toward sexual liberation, allowed him to make a separate peace with the oligarchs, and that's precisely what happened over this period of time. It happened in the 70s in San Francisco. He was a teacher at Berkeley at the time, and basically you had the homosexuals in
the homos,
San
no.
Francisco converting to economic libertarianism, and that became pretty much the default setting for the United States after that. It's basically sexual liberation, left-wing sexual liberation combined with right-wing control of the oligarchs' control of the economy.
Radicals Eustace says Dr. Jones is right. Most incels have been porn obsessed, and also the more sexual partners you have, the less likely you have to maintain a stable marriage.
Actually, I've taken.
Did I take the wrong road?
All, yeah, no,
I did.
Most incels have had
I'm
problems
dumb.
with pornography.
Oh no, I didn't.
It's kind of tautological, don't you think? I mean, you're kind of selecting for the group there. It's like saying most people with porn problems have porn problems. I mean, yeah. In terms of fewer sexual partners leading to a decreased likelihood of marriage, actually, that data is largely untrue. Are you referring to the Black Pigeon Speaks video, I think it was? There was a counter video to that. I don't know who did it, but the data on that was literally done by some amateur researcher who wanted to post hoc justify his perspectives. It wasn't real research. The problem was that they were counting in the sexual partners had from people who were previously married, but then no
Are there
longer
cops
were,
up here?
meaning that you were
Fuck, there are.
adding to the perceived, you know, sexual immorality
Ma'am.
of people who had already experienced marriage. The data was just
Please.
really wonky. I don't know if there's been any substantive data on that. Like, not really. There were also confounding variables to take into account. And by the way, if there are any people watching Rolling the Rise of this, okay, do not make sociological claims if you're not ready to hold your standards to sociological standards.
I did not mean to cripple his movement.
You would also
Oh
need to do
shit.
aggressive analysis while taking into account.
Well, he's not
other
gonna catch
factors.
me.
Younger people are more likely to have more sexual partners relative to their age because people are more sexually liberated now, and young people are also less likely to get married. You also have to correspond
can't see me.
to different levels of marriage in rural versus urban areas because urban people tend to have more sex, but rural people
Fuck.
tend to marry younger. There are tons of things that correlate to this.
Fuck
it's
off.
Not just sexual partners. That's the reason why there's no strong research on this. It's very complicated.
You got it.
Nothing happened.
This question.
Nothing happened.
Morgan Cody says, Vosh, can you quickly explain how porn is protected as free speech in particular?
These cops don't even notice.
warriors
What?
seem to think freedom of speech is supposed to only protect speech they like.
Oh, well, the line for defining like pornography. First of all, would be really muddy.
Oh, I got
Just
his
like
his
a
salami
video,
with
like
me.
A movie in which a person is topless count.
There's
Earlier,
guts
Dr. Jones
spilling
was
out.
talking about people showing their ankles. I mean, where does that line go? What about material in which people are fully clothed but the clothing is wet? What about material in which people are fully clothed and the
Yeah, the
clothing
cops
is
don't
dry
give a
but
fuck.
the clothing is tight? I mean, like the issue is there's
Yeah,
no
we're
way
good.
to draw any meaningful line here, which means that if it were ever to like be effective,
Services?
it would either be a meaningless and easy to work around piece of legislation, or it would be like the complete and utter destruction. It would basically just say we now have an anti-obscenity council, and if they don't like something, they get to like shoot you in the head, you know. And yeah, it's just it's an utter violation of our First Amendment rights here, which I value tremendously because they protect us in many ways, not just in the right to see kids.
This one for Dr. Jones. They say Islamic. Thanks very much, XXWZWXX. Says Islamic countries have banned porn and they have the highest rates of porn consumption in the world. How does Dr. Jones explain this?
Because internet is very difficult to control. That's part of the problem. And if everyone else has access to internet pornography, it will be easy for people in those countries to have access to it. This is not something that some type of individual can solve on his own. You can solve the problem by simply avoiding pornography. Okay, that will solve that problem. It will lose it. It will free your mind.
Can't catch me, cops.
It
I'm
will
out.
allow you to interact with members of the opposite sex, and it will lead you to allow you.
Didn't notice me looking a dead body over.
But the problem here is, why should someone be given the right to constantly?
Why did I drop him? I can't like carry him in my. Oh, can't carry him in around the apartment. All right, so just sit there, I guess.
Because we all have this weakness. Everybody knows we have a weakness when it comes to human sexuality.
Thought I was gonna be able to like set him up on the couch or something.
You're projecting, man.
Do something fun.
Who gave these people the right to exploit that weakness for financial gain? That's the main issue.
I think I might start playing No Man's Sky tomorrow. I don't know.
This one from Laughing My Ass Off says, does Bosch not know what stance the Soviets held with regard to porn? They banned it.
What the fuck do you think I have to do with the Soviets? They would have sent me straight to the gulags. You know what Lenin did to the anarchists after the revolution? They were the first people to go, because we actually gave a shit about the dissolution of the state. Do you know what Stalin would have done? I don't care what Stalin would have done. I'd line him up right alongside other people I disagree with, if given the chance. Yes, and point them out, say that I dislike them.
Zero Cav asks, Bosch, porn is actually leading to people having less and less sex than in previous decades. I think you mentioned earlier that people are actually having more sex, so maybe you disagree with that. They say also, well, I'll let you first respond to that as a two-parter.
People, I think, are having more sexual partners when they're young, relative to their age now than earlier, but people are having less sex right now than they used to. But how do we know that's because of pornography? Keep in mind, like 30 years ago, like during the Clinton administration or whatever, or like further back than that, young people would graduate high school with their mullet and their their peach fuzz, and then go and work at the local bowling alley and like make enough money to buy a house. I mean, the economic reality is incredibly different right now to what it used to be. Right now, like, go view your average college student, okay? They're not disinterested in fucking. I promise you, okay? What they are is stressed out. And they're stressed out because life is expensive. They don't have the time or the money to do the things they want, and hanging out with people.
Oh, I should have kept the Cut-O-Matic. Oh well.
Should
I'll get a better one, an iconic one.
A day's work. Life is hard right now. I don't think it's because of porn.
What do I get for disassembling this?
And just, this is my
Tier 5 item components.
Looking at porn has never made me want to fuck people less. It's made me want to fuck people more. Whenever I looked at porn, my thought was like, oh, that's cool. Yeah, I should like go on Tinder. You know, like, oh, wow, that's cool. Like, my experience with it has not been like, oh, now I don't need to. But the stress of college did like mess me up back when I was in my early 20s. So I think that's the bigger cause, personally.
This from Zero Kev also. This is a two-parter. They said, Bosch, don't you think it encourages thought patterns that degrade women?
Mainstream recorded pornography is pretty degrading to women, but people were pretty degrading to women before the pornography. So I think that's more a reflection of people's tastes than it is of the porn industry making people misogynistic. I think the issue here is like, those tastes existed and have existed for a long time, and that needs to be worked on. But they would be there without the porn.
This from Just Call Me Oscar says, Dr. Jones, would you prefer to forbid porn at the federal level or reverse the 14th Amendment and allow the states to decide?
If you make me king of the United States, I will make that decision. No, I think that the laws should be, there are obscenity laws already on the books. They should be enforced. They will be enforced at a local level.
You only got one more gig?
I think what we're seeing in the United States is a reversion.
You got 3 more over here for me. You sure about that?
Local.
All right, whatever you say.
Local culture. I think abortion is an example of this. I think it's going to be returned to the states. I think abortion is similar to what we're talking about here with pornography and the worldview that our friend here is espousing. It's the Hollywood worldview. It's the Hollywood privileged worldview, where basically they want to rule the entire world according to their twisted standards. That basically was enforced by the Supreme Court And now we're seeing the Supreme Court is backing away from that, and we're going to see the rise of regional culture, and it'll ban abortion, and I think it's also going to ban pornography as well.
Gotcha. And this one from Daily Veracity says, Bosch, rape has absolutely gone up over the past 60 years. In 1950, it was approximately 8 per 100,000, and today it's 29 per 100,000, a threefold increase. You're starting from the decade of recorded crime, or record crime. You're starting from the decade of record crime, the 90s, which is disingenuous.
I started from the 70s, which were not a decade of record crime. No, I guess I'd have to depend on your chart. I mean, I was pulling that from a government source. There are probably some statistical sources that might have contrary numbers, but I gotta wonder how much they're factoring in other confounding variables like the reporting rate. So I'd be willing to bet that reported rapes have gone up massively over the past century, but I don't think that's because rape has gotten more common. I think that's because in 1926, if a dame walked to the
Alright, as soon as I'm done with Shinobi, I can go back to Headhunter and work on my solo and engineer.
I feel like there are other factors at
I can
play.
go back to popping
9
enemies in the
out of
head with a
100,000
pistol
from a century ago
and
sounds
doing
like
net runner
comically
shit.
low to me.
Plus 40%
Yeah,
duration
I
for
mean, there
overclock.
are
I don't know what
probably
overclock
different
is.
sources, but I think it's gone.
But I want to finish upgrading all that solo. I don't know how to upgrade this shit.
Between sex and private and
Just
porn
punch every enemy?
is that porn is meant for public consumption. It's an example for other people to follow.
Engineer.
So sex is a
I gotta like throw grenades and shit.
encourages people
Hack
to
them,
treat
throw.
it
Oh,
that
I can hack them and throw grenades.
Moral context.
It's a good combo.
Sex is-
We know
is-
that. We know that.
I know, but you don't either because you failed utterly to explain it, and Christ is frowning on you from his cloud. Look, sex is a mechanical act, okay? It's a physical thing that you can do, much like